I'm hitting the button now. We live. Hit that little button there. Yes, exactly. Hey, welcome to Real Deal Xbox Podcast. For all of you guys that don't know, it's a PlayStation about the Steam Deck. No, seriously though, we do appreciate you guys for showing up, hitting the like button, telling about it till we're live. Of course, we'd love to hear your thoughts and your, just give me your comments and thoughts while we're going along, because we do have a lot of good topics, a great panel, some really good topics today, actually. But hey, D, how you been, buddy? Yeah, we are 10 minutes late. Ashtray. Yeah, thank you. We are, because it was we were talking about some stuff behind the scenes, and it's a really, really good discussion. But again, hey, Fonz, how you been, buddy? It was not an argument. Y'all argue like bitches. Yeah, probably, maybe. D was basically saying, it's just jokes. It's just jokes. But how you been, Fonz? No panel, no sound. Okay, well, hey, then at least you guys, yeah, we know how to fix this. It's great. Um, yeah, panel. Since you can only hear me, basically, D-Batch and Fonzarelli were arguing over what's better, Thin Mints or Fig Newtons, and it was a big deal. And they just kept bickering like bitches, and I didn't really know what to do, so I just hit go on the show. All right, here. So I'm gonna hit this button, disable, then I'm going to apply, and then I'm gonna reapply the thing that's not. And we will fix this. It takes about 2 seconds. I don't know why the fuck this keeps happening or happens in general. And right here, if I wanted that, I'd make more videos. And are we back?
Damn!
So
Okay.
everybody is audible now. So yeah,
God damn.
maybe. How you been, buddy?
Self-awareness.
I'm good, man. Like I was saying earlier, it's a great time for gaming. I'm gaming so much right now, man. We got some great topics this week. Fonz is a hater, and yeah, let's get on with it.
Big Newts for life, bitch. Hey, Fonz, how you been?
I like how I originally stabbed D in the back, and then he did it to me when we got on air. Damn, D, you
know.
won. You won this round, D. Anyways, yeah. So no, I've been playing the heck out of God of War Ragnarok when I have time, having a good time with that. And I guess we'll talk about that later. But yeah, no, I can't wait for these topics. We've got some good ones, so let's get into it.
Yeah, can you guys hear that loud ass keyboard in the background at all? Like,
no,
Nope.
No. Now I did.
okay,
No.
I typed that hard. Hey, Tim Dog, how you doing, brother?
Good. I'm gonna try to give you an hour and a half of full freaking energy, and then I gotta take a shower, and then I gotta go to sleep, and then I gotta wake up, go to work, and then play Persona 5. I'm enjoying that. So
Take a
You
bump.
we're gonna have a good show today. I told Dealer to turn on the fight when they were arguing about
Big Newt
Freddy for a
versus
second.
Thin Mint.
You didn't even know, you were like it got to the point where it just like just let him go. But we'll probably reenact the it'll come up during the show, so stay tuned. And happy to be here.
Hey, Tim, it's good to have you on the show. Of course, you couldn't be here last week, but you're here now. We do appreciate you. Zalker, how you been, buddy?
Doing good. I'm sitting here looking at Evil West at a 30 frames per second. It's beautiful. No,
Amazing.
everybody, we're all doomed. No, man, just having a good time. We've been playing a shit ton of games lately. Like, I finally feel like there's a lot of games finally coming out. Warzone tonight, so yeah, man, good topics. Chat looks like it's on fire, and honestly, we all have fucking a lot of energy right now, and I'm down for it. Let's get it.
Zonka is a toddler.
Hell yeah.
So you got a new microphone, right?
No, this is the I'm at my parents, and this is sucky. So
Tell your
go.
mom to get a different mic she can loan you or something. Fuck. Just turn down your system audio a little bit, or what are your
just shut your freaking mic off
and I'll
completely.
I'll raise you up on my end because you got a little bit of clip going on. But how long we've been dealing with this clipping chat? How long?
Your clip.
I know.
Clip.
I can hear it. Maybe a lot of people can't, but anyway, Hey, I want to say again, thanks for checking us out, and I want to give some shout outs to the patron tier. But by the way, Dark CMF says we only hear dealers. Thank you very much, sir. Drawn TJ says hi guys. Shout out to you, Drawn TJ. And then
Hi,
Xbox Obi is okay. Xbox Obi saying significantly louder than usual, and I'm quiet. Okay, I'll fix that.
Yeah, and somebody said that I was
A
loud.
couple people.
Loud.
So that's probably an OBS's in. I don't know what the hell's going on.
OBS is just trash.
Here we go.
Just throw it in the garbage.
Trash!
You need to
Trash.
switch to Ventrilo, dude.
All right, what about now? Everything good now?
ICQ.
Everything should be good now.
Yeah, we're switching to Rumble.
Yeah. Forgive me, chat.
I'm going back to AIM.
I'm going to Vimeo.
Going to MSN
We
Messenger.
sound good on my end.
Yeah,
Very
I've
loud,
already adjusted it. Now it should be chat. Let us know. If
So
it's,
much better. That's what Xbox Obi just said in chat. So
okay.
much better.
All right.
though. Thank God.
So let me lock that volume. I guess when I updated OBS, it unlocked the volumes. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me give a few shout outs here, and then we can move into our first topic. Again, we got some really good topics, and yes, let me get into Ken. Shout out to you, buddy. The patron shout outs, Ken66. We got No Hands Ninja. We got Galvatron. We got Calypso. We got Boba, Fierce Fuzz, Hargeet, Sean Dasley. We also got Reluctant Dodo, Dub Mobile, Ruben Almighty, Ricky Falon, Fault Lines, Bad Boy Live, Achievement, Zoradin, Costanza, KY Bob, Assassin Lupa, For an Object, Teo, John Blue, Vec Boss, nope, that's Suicide Kings, Thesis Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cavillo, as well as All Might, Dark CMF, and Alfonso Hogan. Shout out to you guys if you want to be on the shout out tier for Patreon. That link's down below. And there's a giveaway winner this month for Patreon. That is Fault Lines. He chose 6 months of Game Pass. If you guys are not in the Discord for that, let me know, or I'll post it again on Patreon or whatever. But there's a tab there for all that. Check that out if you guys didn't. A lot of you guys didn't reply to the post today. So just keep that in mind. You do need to check that stuff. But let me move into this. Now, there are some nominees for the Game Awards, and some interesting things like that from Keeley. Did any of y'all notice that Stray is nominated for Game of the Year?
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw that, and I was like, why? Like, I actually put this on Twitter, and I truly do mean it. If you're gonna put something like Stray up there, like, you need to put like fucking Vampire Survivors up there. Like, that game has taken over a lot of people. It is like one of the most popular indie games to like release in a long time, and it's on Game Pass. You guys can check it out. It's fucking addicting. I don't understand why Stray's up there. It's like, cool. I guess a lot of people did like it, but at the end of the day, like, is it really Game of the Year quality? Like, it's going up against Elden Ring. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Now, let me ask you this: How
You know
fast
what?
would you jump out of a window if Stray beat Elden Ring, Zauker?
Straight.
I don't even want to hear that, dude. Shut the fuck up. Like, don't bring that juju out into the world.
Stray is gonna beat Elden Ring
Somebody-
and God of War.
Somebody told me that Stray, I don't know if this is 100% correct because I was just told this, but they said they looked it up and it only 5% of people who even played Stray beat it.
I mean,
And it's like a 3-hour game.
well, maybe some people don't like that they can't jump at will.
And
Yeah.
it's a
Maybe
cat
people don't
game
like-
where you're basically waiting for button prompts to jump, and like it's on rails, man. It boggles my mind. Like, I really
It's
don't give
not
a
on
shit at the end of the
rails.
day.
You don't like looking at a cat's asshole?
Well,
For
what
4
I'm
hours?
saying is, like, you can't freaking just jump when you want. You can't,
Well,
do
God of
what
War, you can't jump when you want. Where's your complaints there, Fonz? Huh?
Well, I do have complaints
Let
about
me ask
that
you
in some
something, though,
games,
Fonz.
but it's Stray. It's a cat, and you can't jump.
Stop hating
Come on.
on cats, okay? And
a cat.
secondly, what else was
Where's the
nominated
jump?
along with Stray?
There's so many
obviously
other
Elden
games that
Rings.
could have been nominated over Stray.
There's-
And it-
Well,
it's
what games?
weird.
What games? Think about the games that should be nominated over it. You got to go through the whole year, but
I would
I'm
personally pick-
watching it right now, and I just think it was like a cutesy pick. But
you think
I'm
it's a
trying to
cutesy
think.
pick.
I can
It's
Kind
see
of
a
like
cutesy
they always
pick.
kind of like have like one of those things. I don't know. When you're talking about game of the year, I kind of agree with your argument where it should be just heavy hitters and AAA games.
I don't know
mean,
about
listen.
that.
Well, you could also have, or you could have. You're right. You could have
Okay.
games like Limbo and stuff like that. But I don't know. What has come out this year? Let's
What
I
are-
mean,
what are the other nominees?
the nominees are A Plague's Tale: Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War: Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
What the
Now,
fuck
what
is
was
that?
it? Now, what's been omitted from that list that you guys think belongs there?
Over
That's
Stray.
come out. You got to
This
think of
year?
the whole year. Yeah, I'm
Uh,
trying to think.
I would put
I
pretty
think
much
the list-
anything I played over
Life of
Stray.
Black Tiger 3 on the PS5.
No.
What was it? Black Panther? Or I don't remember what the name of the
Forza
subject
Horizon
was.
5.
I'm
That came out
trying. I'm
last
trying. No, that came out last year. I'm
But
drawing
didn't it come
a
out
bit of a
after
blank.
the cutoff?
Yeah, and
There has to be a game
It did.
that should be kind of more.
Forza Horizon
worthy.
5 came in after the cutoff last year, and it was supposed to be
No,
in
there
this
was
year.
a whole thing with that. They screwed
Yeah,
up that. They screwed that up.
I was kind of tweeted out today because I was a little bit triggered that Stray made it in. Yet last year, Forza Horizon 5 didn't even get the nod. And going through the thread, people were saying, actually, they quoted Healy, and he was saying basically, no, they could have voted it in.
Oh, they could have.
They could have voted in, but they chose not to vote it in. And then at the same time, Stray made it in this year. And people are arguing that Forza Horizon 5, it's a racing game. You can't put it for game of the year. Why not?
Yeah.
That's like the best racing game to date. That's the most fun racing game. It's the best looking racing game.
Only other game...
It had
Look. At least they didn't nominate Gran Turismo 7.
I mean, yeah. The only other game I could think of that should take one of those games' place outside of Elden Ring, God of War, and all that is maybe Cult of the Lamb, because that was a really good game, and a lot of people.
I heard a lot of people
did
loved
like
game.
that,
and a lot of people
very
did
good,
like
very
it.
good, very good. That's a very good answer.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
That's actually what
somebody said Pentiment.
Pentiment's got like an 87 meta right now.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's I think after who knows what the deadline. They obviously have the deadline for God of War, but it's been kind of a barren year, so maybe that's why you have it. Tim?
Guess what? We didn't hit the deadline. It's on the 18th.
Stray. I don't understand how Stray's in there. First of all, if you want to nominate it for best art direction,
Horizon in it.
Hang on, let D-Batch finish. Well, hang on. Why the fuck am I letting this? No, it's Stray. It's a cat game. Who gives a fuck? It's in there. Who gives a shit? Is it gonna win? No, it's not gonna win.
No.
What else is in there? Elden Ring, God of War, anything else? I mean, we just went over a list. It's a very small list, but it's not that big of a deal. Now, what is the game? D-Batch, what you could do is tell me the game that they could have replaced Stray with. That would be helpful.
It was kind of. I just don't think it deserved to be nominated.
Well, why not? Did you play it?
Yes, I did play it.
How much?
It's a cute. I'm like halfway through it. It's a cute game. It's got good level design for what it is. It's a new experience, so I can understand that. And I think maybe it should have won. Be nominated for best art direction or best new game design or some shit like that, but not for game of the year. It's not in the same vein or caliber as God of War, and I'm going to assume Elden Ring, although
did you know it was also up for best action adventure game?
I think you're just a dog person.
That's just insane. That's just
I will say that, like I said,
Yeah.
I think 3 games, right? That could be replaced. Stray, if you're going to put Stray up there, then you can put these 3 games up there. Either Cult of the Lamb, this other game called Roller Drome, which is fucking awesome, and people need to check that out. It has been a lot of people's game of the year because it's a Max Payne fucking it's really good, and it's a difficult game. And the other one I would say is, honestly, I'm not joking, Vampire Survivors. If you're gonna put Stray up there, bro, if you're gonna put fucking Stray up there, bro, at that point it's nothing. You could put anything up there.
Look, what about my man Scarlet Scarab in the
and
chat? He
Potato,
says, Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
It was a good story. Really good story.
That's
good
true.
graphics,
That was
good
critically underrated. No, I mean, I can think of a game like Naraka, but that's a 71 Metacritic. I mean, it's just better. Honestly, it just speaks to the volumes of how light the year really has been in a way. I mean, you could also say GT7, but GT7 kind of with the microtransaction killed itself at the end. But, listen, I think it's between two guys, and it's Elden Ring and God of War, and then everything else is after that is just. I mean, they have that game Immortal. that was like a movie clip game. I tried to play. I got confused. I just didn't. Let's forget this.
So I can't
What's-
watch this shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
all I know is that the two games that are up there, right? Like we knew Horizon was going to be there and God of War was going to be
Right.
up there.
Yeah,
Like those
yeah,
games,
we
like
knew
two Sony games are nominated. I will say that while I love God of War, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It did not grab me, and it does not grab me like Elden Ring did. Elden Ring, like,
Exactly.
just changed.
yeah.
Like we were stuck on it and the whole gaming world was stuck on it
Yeah.
for months. Like it
Yep.
wasn't a joke. Like video, every content creator knows this. If you weren't talking about Elden Ring, your video was dead. Because that's all it
Yeah.
was talking about. Everybody was
true.
just talking about Elden Ring. That's it. And every streamer that was like doing BRs were streaming Elden Ring. It's a phenomenon. Like that thing just like it transcended what it is. Like, and they just hit, I think, 17.5 million sales.
That ain't shit.
Elden Ring. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, I would think they were at like 20 something. But again, it's a hard
Wow.
game, right? A lot of people aren't, cool with From Software games. But Elden Ring is Game of the Year, and if it doesn't win, like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what are you doing?
Well, it's
I
just
think-
opinion.
I think it
but
will.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not
It's a
even
heavy-
a fan of the
It's
game.
a heavy favorite.
I'm not
Go
a fan
ahead.
of the game. I've, I'm right now. To be honest with you, God of War Ragnarok is my game of the year. But I'm not into Elden Ring. But I gotta say, when Elden Ring was banging, it was banging, and it was banging
Yeah.
for a while, and gamers were losing their shits. So if I have to judge it on the climate of this year, it would have to be game of the year.
Mhm. That's the way I feel exactly. I feel like the impression that I got. I mean, I remember it was March, and that just took over. It blew away Horizon. It just like nobody talked about Horizon. People were complaining about that, but it just overtook everything. And God of War, I think the first time it came out was very powerful. This time, it's still big, but it's more like I hear people saying it's more of the same thing. I just think just the way the impact Elden Ring is going to take it, but they're two heavy favorites. The rest of the field is, you could debate anything, but I think Cult of the Lambs. It's very interesting because that game has had a big impression. So I got to give you credit, Zorker. I think that would have been, if they went with a trendy pick instead of Trey, they definitely could have went with Cult of the Lambs.
You know what I think they did with the whole Stray thing? I think they're just they did that as a joke. I think they put
I
that
just
in
think
there
they
as a
wanted to
you
joke.
said as a
recognize
joke.
it.
Come on.
No, they
You know
wanted
what,
to
we got-
recognize it.
Yeah, they
You know,
probably
it
want
is
to
what it
recognize
is.
like it's a smaller studio.
What's
No,
sad is
I
there's
don't
never
know.
been
I mean,
one
did
Xbox.
Psychonauts 2 get
No, there's
nominated
never
at all?
there's never been an Xbox game awarded for Game of the Year in.
But did
its
it get
whole
nominated?
entire history.
Wasn't it nominated though? I thought it
No,
was
never,
nominated.
never. I
Psychonauts
saw
2
it-
was?
Okay.
I thought it was.
Nope. I
So
saw
why
it-
would
I
they
saw-
nominate Stray as best action adventure?
I don't
as well?
think there's ever been a game nominated. I mean, I saw a meme and it was basically like Nintendo had all these, and it was from 2013 from
Chat,
his
let us
awards.
know if we've had Xbox
Yeah.
games nominated for Game of the Year from
I
the
don't
Feelies.
think there's been one. So, and if that's true, then that's kind of crazy. I think last year, I seen like some guys saying like you need validation. I don't agree with that because I keep my mouth shut on the subject, but I'll talk about it here. Forza Horizon was a miss. I don't think that they expected it to be as big as it was. It was a car game, and they didn't pigeonhole it or count on it. And it was obviously, it showed last year. This year, obviously, the new God of War was going to make it, and a lot was going to hinge on that. It just wasn't the same thing that went on for Forza. But if there is a righteous I would say, snub, it would be Forza. But if he's never had, if that's actually true, and it might be, I hate to say it because it's been really light years, as we know. And
Game of the
obviously-
Year nominees last year was Resident Evil Village, Psychonauts 2,
Told you.
Deathloop, It Takes
Okay.
Two, Metroid Dread, Ratchet and
So
Clank.
then the meme was wrong, so I apologize.
Talk about-
for
talk
that.
about
Believe in
last
me,
year.
Tim Doug.
Talk about last year sucking ass. Holy shit.
Hey, you remember when Overwatch beat Uncharted 4? That blew my mind. But hey, Zachary, we got some people in the chat that got some thoughts on the Game Awards stuff. If you want to grab those, and obviously, guys, let us know your thoughts on some of the nominees. Stray is in there, God of War is in there, Elden Ring's in there, Xenoblade's in there. I already forgot the other ones. Crap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
apparently
worry.
they were
Immortal.
super notable to me.
Immortal, I think, is in there.
No.
But yeah, let us know what you think should have been nominated. Modern Warfare 2, some of you guys are saying in the chat, as we said earlier. And there are definitely some other bigger games that have released this year, especially if you're a Dying Light fan with you like those with flaccid grappling hooks, and that's got you covered.
Oh my god, I fucking hate that game. So we got all right. So we have Dark CMF, Drawn TJ, Xbox OB, and Dark CMF talking about the panel and when we had audio issues. Thank you guys all for the chats. I'm just going to start when we are actually a panel. Scrub Nurse, member for 19 months. Thank you. He says, shout out to one of the greatest panels around. Good to see you good people in the chat. Appreciate you. We got Philip Boyle. He says, Halo was snubbed. Not even an esports or music nom. Halo is going through the ringer right now.
Yeah.
We got Hargate Chani, member for 14 months. He says, Halo Infinite is definitely a better pick over Stray. Too bad Pentiment came out too late again.
No.
Yeah. Pentiment's like an 87, man.
No, the 18th is the cutoff.
Oh,
so
well
it didn't
then,
come out
yeah.
too late.
We got Face 23, Brooklyn, New York. He said Forza Horizon 5 won Racing Game of the Year last year. Stop complaining. Thank you. We aren't complaining. We're just bringing up things. Thanks for being a bitch.
What?
Thanks
for being a bitch. yeah. I mean, it did win Racing Game of the Year. I don't think it was nominated though, and that's kind of weird. Because I know you guys don't remember over on the PlayStation, but if you get a 90+ rated racer, it's been so long for you guys, I know, but that is to be considered. Maybe you should throw it in there, at least a nominee for Game of the Year. I don't give a fuck if it's a racing game, if it's a cat game. If it's a great game, it should be considered for the best game of the year.
Yeah. We got a couple more. We got Christian 5916. He says Rogue Legacy 2 should be there instead. I mean, there's a couple games out there that I think people, once you see like the level of what Stray is, you can kind of look at like, well, there's games that are in that similar quality. We got Hargate Chani, Deathloop, and Psychonauts 2 were both nominated for Game of the Year at the Keeleys last year. Yeah. And I want to say thank you, Hargate, for sending me these super chats like always.
Shout out to Hargate.
Yeah, man.
And Discord, shout out to the mods, man. Shout out to Boss Smiley, the Papa, and Red Pull, and Obi, and so many others in the chat, and other things here. Shout out to you. He says Halo 1. He said Consumer Choice 2021. Yeah, that was for the updates.
But you know the one thing?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to say one thing. Like, a lot of the games that are nominated here, right? A lot of them didn't have a lot of bugs, except for Horizon Forbidden West. Like, that's the one thing. I remember when Horizon Forbidden West, there was a lot of bugs. It came out very buggy, and a lot of people were posting them all over Twitter. And it wasn't just like one or two bugs. Like, it was an insane amount of bugs, and they had to patch the shit out of it. That's the only discrepancy I see here. Like, Stray didn't have a lot. Xenoblade Chronicles is a Switch game. That didn't have a lot. God of War, from what I can tell, doesn't have a lot. Neither does Elden Ring. And I've played a shit ton of
people complained about Elden Ring at the beginning.
Yeah.
I remember the optimization was weird, but it wasn't there wasn't like game breaking bugs.
No.
And it was huge. Like, that's the one thing. And then I remember they optimized it, but that was the one thing had like a major, like a lot of bugs in it. And I'm not doing it to be a fanboy. I'm just saying, I just remember
definitely
that.
Well, I do. Someone else just threw a chat in there if you want to get that while I switch topics. But again, chat, let us know your thoughts. Hit the like button. Tell everybody we're live. We do appreciate you as we do move into some more interesting topics, at least in my opinion. Go ahead, Zach.
I'm done. That's all of them.
There's another.
No, Hargate.
We got Hargate Chani says, Fonz Gaming's a bitch. Nice. He said, Fonz Gaming, the deadline is bullshit. The 18th is this Friday, yet the nominees are already out.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are complaining. I saw ACG complaining about that on Twitter.
Yeah, there's apparently a list of content creators they vote on there too, and that whole category is cringy to me. It's like we'll edit things, we make a video, but we're talking like it just the whole pedestal thing is just fucking
except that they have the best content creator of the year, and they have Nibellion on there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know.
What does he create, and what type of content does he make?
He's more of a news guy. He's more of an up-to-date Wario type guy.
Doesn't create
I don't
content.
know. I think they just wanted to basically.
Is that the guy from Twitter that quit Twitter?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
They wanted.
He quit, and then he's getting nominated. He quit.
Basically,
Dealers. I could just picture Dealer winning next year, giving like a speech.
I think they just
like,
wanted
Dealers
Hey guys, this is all fucking cringy. Fuck you.
I think this is just put in there to give him his flowers and his send off, just because he gave so much news to people on Twitter. I get it, and that's a great thing, and people liked reading that stuff. I get that, but he was not a content creator.
Well,
he was.
Let's not attack people here, Fonz. Really, you're so.
No, I don't think
so
he's attacking.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think he's attacking.
Okay.
I think he makes a very good point. No, I think they want to appreciate him. he came on and he said he's done doing it. Basically, he was a guy, or from what I gather, my opinion is that he was always on the pinnacle of the news. Whenever it come out, he would be like the first guy you look at.
He had a little
He's
robot that posted everything instantly.
No, he just has everything up, and he has it in a well formed thing. He basically made it his job,
Fett.
and he was appreciated, but I don't think that he got maybe the recognition that he wanted, and that's why he left.
He literally left because he wasn't making money.
Hang on.
He
Now,
literally
Infinite
said that
Umbra
in-
has
in-
a really
in a
good
thing.
point. He says it would be fair to say that he did help content creators, as many used his information or information that he would post. That is absolutely the case for sure.
Okay, so
we're
if
going
I
on too
get
much about this,
if no,
Another argument.
does it listen, unless you create the content, you don't make the content.
He
Are
copied
you
and
an
pasted
artist?
it, bitch.
Do you paint? Do you do that? No. If you're just sitting there telling the guy what to paint, you ain't the fucking artist.
He's
I
the
don't care what they're saying. No. He's not a content creator.
He's a blog.
Period. It's weird. That is a reach. That is a stretch. It makes zero sense.
I'm sorry, Nibble.
And I
He's
don't
gonna-
care at the end of the day.
He's gonna
I
fucking
really
win
don't give
two
a shit.
Fonz.
But I'm just telling you, that's not a content creator.
Well,
Wasn't
yeah,
that when
it's a weird
they
category.
put Forza in sports? Remember they had that one year? Like everyone was like, "What the hell?" It won Sports Game of the Year, Forza. Don't you guys remember that?
Sports Game of the Year at one.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
does
like
have motorsport
it was up
in
for
it.
I know, chat. I know that you guys will remember this, or somebody will remember. It was up for a stupid award, and it wasn't. It was like sports or something. It didn't. The genre didn't make sense, and everyone. I remember it was like the second one. The second.
They're like, where can we stick this where it won't piss people off?
Let's
know,
honestly
but-
be real here. The Game Awards show, like to me now, like I don't give a flying fuck who wins or what is it. Like I don't care about the bands.
I agree.
I care about the announcements. And I
announcements,
feel
yeah.
like the announcements
Agreed.
are going to be fucking big this
But-
year.
Thank you, Zalka.
Very good point.
Hey, by the way, it's obvious, but this is Halo Infinite Xbox Series X 4-player co-op, and we played first mission or so, and I gotta say, it ran pretty damn good, even with that tether, no 30 FPS, and we all stayed connected. It was fun, man. It reminded me of OG Halo. Like, I'm looking forward to going back, and that's why I posted before the show or in the chat. Hit me up on Xbox. I'm looking for some co-op buddies for Halo because I'll be running through this probably once or twice at least.
Yeah.
Fonz,
You know what?
You gotta try it.
Keely. If you're listening, Keely,
Leave
I
Keely
know you
alone.
are. You
got tag
listen to RDX, but you need an Insider of the Year award. There you go.
Oh,
Gaming Insider of the Year.
Oh, my
Next
God.
year, do it.
Foxy!
And you can have all those weird Foxy UK getting his
Yeah, what's
flowers
the other guy? The guy
for
what's
being
the other
totally
guy?
wrong.
Who's the
Oh,
other guy
shit.
that's always wrong? Serrano?
Oh, my
Roberto
God.
Isn't that a guy from
Serrano?
Dead
There's
Space?
so many people that they
E3
could.
coming this week.
All right.
You can hear about it.
Hey,
and then the day would come.
Wow.
I'm
nothing
sorry,
would
Chat.
happen.
Oh, that would be
Listen,
I
hilarious.
just wonder,
Yeah,
will,
that's
will
all
Randall
fun.
Thor be
The
nominated?
chat loves it.
Hey.
Will Randall Thor?
Yeah, Rand
The
should
man
be.
with the
Hey,
million.
we should give it to Jez. But you know what? We love
Oh,
Rand. We
Jez?
love Jez. We don't love Foxy. That guy's a fucking weirdo. But there's just love everywhere. And again, we do have. What the fuck were we? I was about to lead into something. Look,
We're about
it's
to say
Halo.
that
It's
we're-
fun.
we're
Try it out.
really-
We haven't tried the co-op. It's fun. It's good. It's actually pretty well polished.
Evil
so far.
West, you bitch. You put Weird
Evil-
West
evil-
on the
Weird West, Evil West.
Evil,
Weird
it's evil,
West.
It's Evil West.
You know why I put Weird West? It's weird that it only runs at
It's
1080p,
weird.
30 FPS on a Series S, and it also runs at that same resolution on an Xbox One and the same frame rate as well. And this is where we're going to go, you could talk about the consoles are not strong enough, and there's a group of people that believe that when they see these numbers, they don't really think. But why the fuck is the Xbox One X version of the game running at 4K 30? And
Because the
so-
Series S is a potato.
but
That's why.
but the Series X is running it at 4K. It's ridiculous. So there's a 1080p 60 mode, and you get where I'm getting at here. It's the same shit, even though the console's several times more powerful and more balanced and better in every single way. And that's exactly my point. Like when we're talking behind the scenes, Zalker is like, this is why we say these things. It's not always anyone else's fault, but hey, developers didn't put the time in, or they didn't have the resources. Some of them just didn't give a fuck.
This is the one game that I'm like looking at. I'm like, dude, we're gonna see a patch in 3 months where it's like, oh, it's 1440 or whatever, dynamic
one
60
game?
on the Series A. Like, no, yeah, that's like one of those games where it's like, if it's running at 1080p 30 and then 1080p 60 on the Series X, it's like, all right, Like, what are we doing here? Like
Yeah.
that shit, especially when it's cross-gen and it's all like that. It's like, dude, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Then when you look at the game, it's just like Gotham. It's very CPU optimized heavy. Like that's why it's like that's what's happening, and it's like, okay, so why all of a sudden the Switch, or why is that
it's
going
not that
on?
it's heavy, it's that it's unoptimized, like Plague's Tale was confirmed to be. Like it's unoptimized, or it's just not polished. And maybe they had to get it out.
Is it going to get a 60? Is like Plague Tale, because I think they just announced some shit that like, no, it's probably not, and it's like, okay,
Yeah, they have a
cool.
video coming out tomorrow, Digital Foundry, talking about Plague's Tale and how it can't do 60 on the console.
Because it's seriously unoptimized. But
Yeah, I
or
didn't
the way
watch
they
it,
built
so I don't know.
or the way they built around the things they're doing on the CPU, it's very hard to undo for them. But they are, again, a smaller studio. It's still an impressive game. If you got VRR, it's helpful. But yeah, I mean, at least they got nominated for Game of the Year, guys. You know, next to Stray. But yeah.
Stray's
I
gonna
don't-
win.
And
Oh,
Stray's-
I
and
know a
Stray's
game that you could
optimized.
say. For now, I got a game, Grounded, and I saw a lot of Xbox game players actually complaining about that.
Huh.
But Grounded, I think that you could definitely put there in place.
Trash.
But that's that would say that's a pity pick. It's not a trash game, so fine.
I'm just
But
kidding.
it-
I'm
He's
but
like,
it
never
really-
played it, never liked it.
No, I mean I know
never
it's
played
not
it,
for
never
you,
liked it. Actually,
but
did play
there
it.
are a lot of people that like freaking love that game.
It's
I
fun
mean,
with
like,
friends. It's fun. with
Yeah,
friends.
and family. You know, there's people play with their family. It's like a little, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Not my type of game too. I think it's pretty cool with the spider and everything, but I'm with you. But it definitely had some type of impact. But I honestly think that being the way we went over it, I think that Stray you could actually make a case that it's not the end of the world that it's in there. It's just it seems like,
Yeah,
Xbox
It's not the
never
end of the
has
world
anything.
that anything's in there, and it wouldn't be the end of the world if Elden Ring didn't win either. It's
Nah, that's
the
more of a
gaming
gripe,
awards.
I
It's
think.
Keeley's, like
Okay,
who
we
cares?
just finished this topic. Hold on, let's get back into the
sure.
weird
Yeah,
the
yeah.
weird evil west
The
for a
weird
second.
Evil West. Yeah, Weird West.
60 frames per
The one
second.
thing I've always said, and I've told Dealer this, I've told everybody this behind the scenes, and even on here, the next year is going to be the telling point of what the fuck is going on with developers. Because at this
I mean,
point,
it's
things
already
aren't
telling.
hitting 60. No, I mean, like, we'll see what happens, man. Because Unreal Engine 5, all that shit's super demanding, and to some point, like, it's almost bloated with a lot of shit that's going to be very
That can be
demanding
turned on and
on
off.
everything. Yeah, exactly. But once it's turned off, like, then what's the point?
What
Like,
do you
you're
mean?
not
What's
using
the
those
point?
next
So
gen,
everyone
like
with a
Nanite and Lumen,
4080,
right?
There's no point. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying Nanite and Lumen, right? If those are very ray trace focused things, and if
Yeah.
it's not going to be able to be utilized on the Series X, then it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing?
But
Like,
that's why you
the whole
have a
point. Those
mode where
things
you
were
can.
advertised. Those things were advertised before the consoles came out. All those videos came out about like
Yeah.
how this is going to run. If they just turn those things off, then why advertise them that they were going to work on the console if you're just going to turn them off?
Because they do work on the console. Here's the thing.
But they're gonna be- but they're gonna be
has
30.
amnesia, and I guess he hasn't been paying attention the last several years on the show. But basically, they're going to give you a mode where people who want ray tracing can get it, and then they're going to give people like me who want frames over everything that as well, like they've always done, like we've talked about for years, and there's nothing wrong with that now.
Yeah, I think the difference with Unreal Engine 5 though is that you're gonna have to turn the nanites off, and I think that's like a big part of how they're constructing the game. And I think we may see a situation where some of these games where they want to have it there are gonna run at 30 FPS. I think some games are gonna run at 60 FPS for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's I think it's foolish to think that a lot of games aren't gonna run at 30 FPS with that engine, because they're gonna prioritize visuals over frame rate with some of these games, not all of them, with some of them.
There will
And some of
definitely
the
be a handful.
Some of the
I
bigger
agree.
titles.
I
But
just
what
feel
I would
like it's
also
gonna be-
say,
I think- I've always said it's
I
gonna
just want to
be-
cap that off. I just want to say that again, the engine, just like all engines, they're gonna do what they want to do and present how they want to present in their fidelity mode. But I do think developers get the picture now is that you need to find a way to enable a performance mode, and that's very important to a lot of us, right? That's super important to me. Secondly,
It is, but it
Very.
doesn't help any. It doesn't help any. Like Gotham Knights, everybody was like fucking boycott. It was fucking 14th on most played on Xbox.
it doesn't
like,
matter.
it sold
I'm not saying
really
boycott.
well.
I'm not saying
I'm,
boycott.
no, I'm not saying you. I'm saying that people said that, right? Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, if it's not 60, death." Well, that didn't help because it sold like crazy.
'Cause
Apparently,
A lot of people
Like-
ended up buying it after they said that. I saw them on Twitter. Well, I didn't want to buy
they
it. but I
announced it a whole
did it."
week before the game came out. Like like the whole point I'm trying to say is that we'll see. Like that's why I say next year is a big telling point of what they're going to focus on. Are they going to focus on graphics and fidelity and push games that way because that's what's worked?
They can do both.
And it's going to be
So
30. I know
I
they can do
think-
both, but it's going to take time. And then if you're taking
Right.
out like a lot of the stuff that the engine can
That's-
do, then what's the fucking point?
You're
I
right.
think-
So
I think
everyone
that's
without a
exact-
4090, it's pointless.
I think
doesn't make
that's
any
what we're
sense.
seeing right now with Evil West. I think at the end of the day, it's more about them not having either time or the budget to get it done
Yeah.
right now. But
Yeah.
it's
That's what
very
it's probably
possible.
about.
That game, there's nothing in that game that screams, "Oh my God, next gen, you can't do it." No, because it's on last gen platforms.
But it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I mean,
even
yeah.
if it is
I don't
like,
think there's reason.
Yeah,
for
it could be.
concern.
I think that game is more CPU bound than anything. But I do agree with you guys. I think with a little bit more time in the oven,
Yeah.
they can find other ways to get it up to 60 FPS. Because if you look at it, it's not like, oh my god, like Fonz was saying, it's so visually demanding.
Mhm.
Yes, it might be CPU bound.
Mhm.
Do some tricks, lower the resolution. Use dynamic resolution, use FSR, find a way around it. But I don't see a reason why that game should be stuck at 1080p 60. I think
No,
I do
no,
want
not
to
Evil
throw it
West.
to Tim here. We'll cap this off, but I also want to say that we don't know exact because people have been watching the show for years. They're watching my stuff for years. You know that I'm not going to sit here and not that anyone here is doing that, but I'm just saying in general, we're not going to sit here and fearmonger what developers may or may not do and run with it like it's happening. We know of a few examples of unoptimized games, and now we know that it does happen occasionally, but that's, again, not on the hardware end, at least in my opinion. But, Tim, go ahead and cap this off real quick with the UE5.
No, I think it basically it was well done just by the panel itself. The way in time, things mature, tools mature. I think, and in this odd case, I think it's definitely something like Fon said, probably budget wise, or they just want to get the game out there.
Yep.
They can't optimize as much as they want to. They want to get it out in the holiday season, and they'll probably update it, and that's probably on there. I think the consoles are very being that the CPU and the GPU architecture of even the S, I think the bar is very high, and I think once they use FSR and they use in Xbox's case VRS, and the engines get better and they upgrade and they just keep getting better and better. I think most games will be 60. You have odd cases here and there, but I don't think it's worth getting worried about. I think we've always said that on the show and been a big proponent against this false narratives and shit. But listen, we're 2 years into the gen. You're gonna have odd cases come up here and there, like Gotham Knights or this. And I think in time, definitely these games can get optimized where they can hit 60 or give us the option. Gamers have spoken, and this gen is completely about 60 frames per second. So a game like Starfield, that game is probably going to be
30 frames.
30 frames, but I do think that they'll probably add an update down the line, 60 frames per second, or maybe at launch with the time that they've had. But it's just a time game more than anything else.
It was weird.
tool-
Todd Howard saying he prefers 30 FPS.
Dude.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I said this before on the show, but this man's a millionaire, right? He builds video games, and he's like, I like 30 frames better. I don't fucking believe you, Todd Howard. I just don't. I don't believe you.
I DM'd you something. Check that out.
I will say that I've always said this. Yeah, I think as things go forward, we'll see what happens. Let's say next year is the telling point. I think it's a 70-30 thing for me. Either 70% of the games are going to be 60, and then like things like Starfield and all that, like big games are going to be 30, or developers are going to switch it and 70% of the games are going to be 30 and very few are going to be 60. Like that's just in my head what I think.
Yeah.
Like I just look at it and
That's
I'm
a
like,
world
man,
I don't want to live in.
like
sir.
listen, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just looking at it like it's either going to be that and it sucks, and then now there's the rumors of the mid-gen refresh, which we've talked about before, and it's like, man, and if you look at like the way things are, like the PS5 is $550 everywhere in the world minus like the North
Inflation
America.
don't exist here.
And then yeah, and Phil Spencer is like even talking about like raising prices on certain things. So if there is a mid-gen refresh, it's going to be super expensive. And
Yeah,
so
but that also
there's
kinda
things
goes
like
I don't
against,
that.
foresee
that also
that.
goes against the whole refresh thing too.
If a
Yeah.
refresh were to happen though, it's like I know everyone's saying like,
This
oh, it's
doesn't
gonna be
make
this year or
sense.
next. It would be like holiday season 2024
Yep.
if this
yep.
were to happen. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this as well. It's really gonna solely depend on these next generation engines and whether or not Microsoft and Sony get their tools up to speed to use FSR or FSR 2.2 to get the performance up there where you're not losing fidelity, you're not losing performance. I think it's really gonna depend on that. Now, Fonz has sent me in the DMs the Evil West minimum configurations and the recommended. Now, the minimum is like Windows 10, an iCore i5
Windows
2500K,
95.
which is really old, man.
Yeah,
8
that's what I
gigabytes of
said.
memory,
Old CPU.
So
a
how
GeForce 750 Ti, and a RX 460.
a 750
that's-
Ti?
Yeah,
You're
that's to
talking
get
10
30
years.
that's to get 30 FPS at 1080p in medium. Now, the recommended configuration
Wow.
is an Intel i5 10505 or a Ryzen 5 1600,
Way less than
16
Series S.
gigabytes, 16
Wow.
gigabytes of memory,
Mhm.
a GeForce GTX 1060, Radeon RX 590 to get 60 FPS, 1080p epic settings. So something is definitely going on here.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
like
100%.
even if it's a bit CPU bound,
It's
the
not.
No.
GPU is much
It's
better.
the
The
port.
CPU
It's
is
just
much better
fast
than
port.
this. So there's something else going on here.
I'm
Just
So
telling
proved
you.
it.
Hey, we
right
might be
there.
we might be
After seeing
buffering,
this-
but hang on. We might be buffering 1 sec.
No,
No,
I don't
we're
see
not.
it.
We're
Okay.
still
No, we're
on.
not. I got it up
After-
the whole time, man.
I-
think
I
it's
think-
fine.
after seeing this,
Hang on,
after
we're out of
seeing this
time.
here-
Shit, what the fuck's going on today?
let
Halftime,
me
y'all
finish-
dead.
I just say after seeing this, I'm gonna agree with the rest of the panel for sure. We're gonna see an update for this game. There's no
Yeah.
reason why
Yeah,
they
of
should
course.
be running at 1080p on the Series X. Like, what are we
They
doing
built
here?
for one platform, and I think that platform
Yeah.
was the One S,
I
man.
think
Who's the
it's
developer?
They built it for that 780 Ti or whatever the fuck it was.
Who's the developer of this game?
They're a good studio. I'm not,
Hogs fly,
Flying Wild
hogs?
Hog.
Flying hog.
Flying
yeah,
Wild Hog,
They're
yeah.
good.
They
I
make
think it's
some
just
good games, man.
resources and time, guys. Like it's
Yep.
it's obvious, and that's why we didn't have to go over any of the specs or anything. It's pretty obvious. But again, Soccer, I want to catch up on a few of these, and I want to thank everyone that's watched this live, guys. We over 800 people already watched this live. We started about 15 minutes late, but we do appreciate you guys for sticking with us and letting us know your thoughts. Hit the like button, and of course, Soccer, go ahead.
I got you. So we got Reluctant Dodo. He says Game of the Year show is just a Sony reach around party. I do like cats though.
Damn.
Not
Damn, man.
really. I mean, we've had some reveals for Xbox there the last couple of years.
We
Some
just
good
forgot
stuff.
about him, like Psychonauts too.
We got and Deathloop. We got Burke. He says shout out to my Canadian brother D Batch for correctly predicting COD staying on PlayStation way back in January 2022 while the cast laughed at him.
I got beat with a
Dang.
stick.
Actually,
man.
I did
actually,
it.
shout out to that guy for actually misremembering exactly all of that. Basically, D-Match was correct, or at least presumably correct, in that every single portion of Call of Duty would continue to exist on PlayStation. I'm still not convinced that it'll be as over on PlayStation forever. And we've actually got a quote from Phil that actually kind of still shows that they are not telling you shit. And we'll get into all that stuff. But yeah, if D got it, and we're more than happy to give him that 4K Switch dock.
You know what?
Yeah.
I believe D is 100% spot on with that, based off what Phil said today. And I do have the direct quote here when we talk about that later.
Perfect.
I have the audio.
Awesome. Thank you, Fonz. Let me get through a couple
We'll
more.
play
of these.
the
We
audio
got-
chat. Stay tuned.
Stay
we
tuned.
got-
Phil is here.
We got Danny Passion Official. He says, "How's Fortnite running? A cat game over Ori 2? What the hell?" All right. We got Sir X-Men. He says, if it takes to a multiplayer game of the year, then Elden Ring, the multiplayer should win game of the year. Every other game is single player. Fact. What the fuck? Sentence structure.
Sir X-Man is crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't read that, Sir X-Men. I'm sorry. Sauron Grant, whatever he said. How about we let the devs give us the best game they have the resources to give us in the best way they can, and not be backseat drivers all the time.
You don't like driving from the back seat? Never tried it, huh? Never liked it. Never tried it.
Flintstone.
No,
your
I mean
land.
it's not about. You're thinking about it the wrong way. At least in my mind, I'm thinking about. Hey, I would like to get what I paid for as a consumer. I'm not more concerned about the developer's
Facts.
feelings than I paid, for this thing, and everyone else that paid for this thing they should get what they paid for.
We got
I love you,
Argy Johnny. He says if they do a mid-gen refresh, it needs to have at least 30 teraflops of power, 12 cores, 24 thread, running at over 4 gigahertz.
Make it
That is
5,000.
literally
Wow.
gonna. That's gonna literally
Not
cost
$5,000.
like $2 to $3 grand, bro.
Yeah.
And I get what he's saying. Like, if you're gonna jump from 12 to whatever, like you need to just go all out and make it where you're gonna get 4K 60.
Or they could always
we-
just improve the software like they always do, and the games will look drastically better 8 years from now, as they always do.
Just send you a box full of PC
think-
parts and say,
I-
have fun.
honest-
You got
just to-
Sauron.
Hey, go
Hold on, let
ahead,
me get the
Zoe.
last one. Sauron, this last one. If they do a mid-gen refresh, this gen was a con.
Yeah,
I just wanna-
again.
It's gonna happen.
Go
I
ahead,
just
D.
want to address some people's concern about this. Listen, once we get out of this cross generation thing, we are going to see better looking games, and we're going to see games that are more focused on the new hardware. I think right now we're in that period where we're still getting cross gen games,
That in
and
between.
I'm pretty sure towards the middle point of 2023 we won't be seeing that anymore, and I think we're going to have a better grasp on what these games will look like and run on this next generation system. So it's not all gloom and doom yet. Like, every game is not going to turn to 30 FPS next year, so just
No.
calm down,
No,
guys.
no, not at all. And in fact, there won't even be a next gen refresh. Yeah, there's a million reasons why I don't think that'll happen. But we've had that debate. We will go into the next topic. And again, shout out to the chat for keeping us company. All their mods, you guys are amazing. We've got some actually, according to Forbes, I think it was Forbes. They're saying that Microsoft they've ended the whole discussion on consoles exclusivity, console exclusives like COD, things like that. Fonzarelli actually has the audio from what Phil said in the interview, and this is regarding Activision Call of Duty.
Yeah, this is basically his answer on if he's going to allow Call of Duty to be on PlayStation. And it, honestly, man, sounds like in perpetuity if the PlayStation folks will still continue to buy.
On Xbox, the next game.
Oh,
The next-
sorry.
That's
Not,
something
it's
else.
not, ugh, God, it's not set up right. What the hell just happened to be? Okay.
All right.
I'll
How
fix
dare you
it.
have a
We'll get
technical
it.
issue?
We'll get it.
I'll fix it. I'll fix
He's
it.
always good at that. He'll get it quick.
That was all. That was Days of Our
That
Lives.
was an audio. That was an audio of him and Phil Spencer having Denny's in the morning together.
I like
Who's
when he
that?
always starts the show and Phil goes, and he always laughs when he says it's exclusive.
And then you remember that it's not even true. That yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Fonz, how long is this going to take? I can stall for like 30 more seconds. I got
AD
you.
batch.
Okay. Yeah. It's just a couple of more seconds.
All right.
Here.
Hey,
I had
chat,
to
count
re-download
to-
it because it messed up on me.
Okay. Not a
But
big deal.
it's 4, 3,
Two.
2.
One.
Okay, here it is.
Go.
Oh, there we go.
We think Call of Duty will be on PlayStation as long as players want to play Call of Duty on PlayStation. And that's not a competitive threat against PlayStation. That's just a pragmatic way of looking at it.
This brings me back to game streaming, right? Because one way you could get Call of Duty on
Can you
PlayStation.
turn it up a
Native
little bit?
Call of Duty on PlayStation, not linked to them
Okay.
having to carry Game Pass. If they want a streaming version of Call of Duty on we could do that as well, just like we do on our own consoles. There's nothing behind my back.
Okay.
It is the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 doing great on PlayStation, doing great on Xbox. The next game, the next game, next like native on the platform, not having to subscribe to Game Pass. Sony does not have to take Game Pass on their platform to make that happen. There's nothing hidden. We want to continue to ship Call of Duty on PlayStation.
Dude, he sounded
He
so
sounds
annoyed. He's
pissed.
like, he did. He was like, bitch, native. It's gonna be there. Like, that's literally what he sounded like. He's like, well, you're cloud stream. He's like, shut the fuck up. What I say,
know.
native.
No,
He's
here's,
like,
here's
"No,
another section though. Was Spencer? He was saying that that he was open to longer form commitment that Sony is more comfortable with. Again, there's a reason Jim Ryan ran telling Mom. He said you can only have it for 3 years after. What is, we've heard one thing publicly, but then from Sony, completely different thing. And then again, this kind of alludes to what Sony were talking about. We're open to making a deal that Sony are more comfortable with, something more long term. What is that deal? Why does there need to be a deal? It's already
I
there.
can tell you why.
And
why.
how much money is they going to pay you? Why is there a deal?
Well, there's a deal because first of all, you can never predict the future. And also, you would never want to put yourself in a position where you're making a decision for another person who takes over your job.
Mhm.
Like, what's going to happen when Phil leaves? Is this deal going to change? What does that person want to do with COD? So there are reasons why he's saying it, but I definitely think you listen to Phil, and the day COD's going to be on PlayStation natively, unless like they get canceled, they do something really stupid. Like the thing you don't sign.
Yeah.
He's basically saying you don't sign forever. You never say forever because you never know unforeseen circumstances, or you don't want to make decisions for other people down the line when they're in charge.
Yeah.
So there's lots of reasons, but he's being as clear as he can be. As long as you're there, we're here, we'll natively put it on your system. You're going to pay $70, obviously, and Xbox is going to get it on Game Pass. And once the deal's done, I believe that you will see the fruits of this bear, and that bears, and it's going to be a very powerful thing for Xbox, and that's why Sony's scared, and that's why maybe even the CMA is scared. We're going to go into that, but like there's definite it's going to have a huge impact.
Yeah.
With or without an exclusive, so it just makes the exclusive argument moot. They're going to keep it on PlayStation. It's all there. You just never sign a deal away forever for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of you in the chat agree, but at this, I mean, like, I don't even care if they're exclusive. I think it's awesome that people get this stuff in Game Pass, right? The problem is, a few months before they came out and told us that games aren't going to be on Game Pass, and you have to have Game Pass to or those games wouldn't come to your platform. They were telling us it would be first or best on Xbox, and then it would go to PlayStation. So they changed pretty quickly on that. Now they came out and said, well, it's going to be, on PlayStation for a long time, or if not ever, which is, again, something that we'd argued about and argued for, but with the exception that maybe it's just the free-to-play stuff that would go to mobile, go to PlayStation, or is it going to be everything? How would they work that stuff? Time would tell. And why is Phil saying now he's more comfortable to working out a longer-term commitment with Sony, something they're more comfortable with after Jim Ryan coming out and telling, the regulators that they only wanted to give 3 years? Why were they only wanting to give 3 years? They were telling us publicly that the same thing they're telling us now.
I think
things have changed, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Again,
the number one thing you said was the first on Xbox and then everywhere else forever. But reality, a lot of their games are first on PC and then later. So a lot of the things they've said have completely changed to what they've been saying the last eight to 9 months.
Well, but PC's like,
deal. But that's because this deal, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like they're changing their tune a lot of what Xbox is, because them getting this, like we've always talked about, like this big fucking publisher is going to change their whole perspective on everything. Because again, mobile, PC, console, like, so they're just like, fuck it. Everything we said before, I don't know. I think everything's up for grabs. I think everything can be questioned. I think everything can go through, and I feel like they're just going to change as they go. And if the deal does go through, they're going to have to change, because they're going to have to make concessions to a lot of these, basically the legislations that are going through.
They're not making many concessions at all, except for COD, because that's the only thing that they're worried about is COD. And Microsoft don't give a shit about COD, really. They want all the rest. They want all the mobile. They want freaking King. They want every other game that's there.
Blizzard and PC.
That's why I think they've changed their tune, and they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. You guys can have COD, but we want this shit to go through already. I think that's why he sounds annoyed too.
I think COD was always designed to stay on there just for the revenue stream. We see how much that money that game just made over the latest release. So I think that was always the plan. However, I think I don't know this for sure, but I'm thinking maybe the previous deals ran for like 3 years, 4 years, and then they renewed them. And because Microsoft is now owning Activision, Sony's looking at them sideways and saying, "Oh, that 3 years, that doesn't tell us anything." And I think maybe that's why they're going to negotiate it to be longer, maybe 5-6 years at a time. But I don't think the deal that they had previously with Activision was a forever deal. Every so many years, they go in and renegotiate and renew these contracts. So I think it's a little bit about nothing. I think Sony's just trying to throw shade, and I think Sony's just trying to slow it down. And I think also Sony's trying to guarantee it to be on their platform in the long term as well.
Yeah. I think they're just pissed off over there at Sony. They're upset that they can't money hat that game anymore when it does go through this deal, because it will go through. people that are saying that it won't or they're worried about it, stop. It's going to go through. They're just delaying the inevitable, and they're looking into it. They're again because they should. It's the biggest deal that's ever been made in gaming. This is the
not just
biggest
in gaming. It's one of the biggest deals in business
ever.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, of course, they still want COD, but they want COD in Game Pass, and they realize that they're like, hey, we've got COD in Game Pass. What do we care? We've got everything else. We can make exclusives. None of these other games they're even talking about. Mobile, Sony could give a shit about that right now, but they'll end up regretting that later because they are trying to get into the mobile space as well. Don't forget that. So, I mean, there's things that, that Xbox is doing here that it goes way beyond COD. And that's why I think they've changed their tune.
Yeah, I mean, we've always said that it's like, to me,
Yep.
I said this deal has always been about mobile and PC, like just equally. That's what this big deal has been about, and that's what they're doing. Like, and it's funny because they basically are saying that even in the documents that are coming out publicly, right? Because this is all public, is just like, yo, we don't give a fuck. Like, we care about this side of it. We don't care about. There's nothing to do with the console, nothing to do with PlayStation. We care about mobile, and we care about this and that, and it's like. It's just they're just waiting for this to go through. And yeah, I do think that I think it's going to go through, but I also think that you'd be foolish enough to basically sit there and be like, oh, it's going through no matter what. Like, all these concessions, all them talking is because I think they do see a threat, and I think they're trying to just take it out completely, where this is going to go through. Like, because a lot of New York Post talked about it, a lot of people like the New York Times have talked about it, like it maybe not going through. So a lot of people that are in the know are saying we'll see. And so I think Xbox knows that, or Microsoft does. So they're trying to go through it. They're trying to basically cover every single fucking angle to make sure that this goes through. So I mean, we're gonna see April next year or whatever. And I don't know if this is in the topics, but the guy that posted that thing, the guy from the EU, the CMA. When he posted on Twitter, basically saying a Call of Duty is going to stay on my PlayStation,
I don't
people
think
were
he
like,
works for them, does he?
He does.
Yeah,
he
he's
did,
a
he did,
regulator.
and then he actually he's a
About that?
regulator.
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
and
yeah.
he was,
I think it was the wrong
and
guy.
he was 5 months ago. He was part of the group that's actually investigating this.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, I don't work for, and he had to go out because Twitter is the best of people. Everybody fucking called him out. And we're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, journalists, a bunch of people were like, that sounds super biased.
His name is Ricardo Cardozo, and he said, the commission is working to ensure that you will still be able to play Call of Duty on other consoles, including my PlayStation.
Yeah, he literally said that. And so now that might have, because now he's being investigated, and there's actually probes being put in to see if there is bias.
And if you but if you guys didn't see the tweet, he put including my PlayStations within parentheses to be like, I'm one of you guys. I'm a Sony guy. Like it screams that. Like,
yeah, it was for him to say I talked about this in my video.
He denounced it though, by the way. He came back and denounced it apparently, but it's too late. When
he put a tweet out saying that he's not even a part of it and that it's going to be a fair through the law, and everybody was like, bullshit, your superior saw that shit and was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Shut the
and
fuck
called
up.
him out. And just called his dumbass out.
I quote tweeted him. I said, hey, if only you would put this much energy into stopping Sony from raising the prices of their consoles and their games. They have no issue with that, and I think people like only on Xbox have a point. This is part of what a lot of people consider to be a pretty substantial rise for Microsoft, for Xbox, and they don't need Call of Duty money that badly to where that's the reason they're going to put it on or leave it on PlayStation. If that's the case, that's not the reason why. They're really rich, right? I still think it's a mistake if they don't lock down everything that they buy like Sony do, because the end goal, one of the main pillars, one of the biggest growths and revenue generators in the company already is something like Game Pass. And to bring more people to that service, you need to have content. And that's a big part of why this acquisition was going to be a good move for something like that, to generate more Game Pass subscribers. But if they're going to give that away, that'll be interesting. I mean, yeah, they can make a lot of money on PlayStation, but you're talking long term. Game Pass, Netflix, right? Long term. So I just don't see the use.
It's not economically sound.
But that's my point, though. Like, they don't need the money that badly right now. it's a ploy to build a service that's already making them a shit ton of money or generating a shit ton of money. That was at least my perspective on it, was use it as an incentive to draw people into the service. But, hey, with one set of games, again, I will always have a problem with their messaging until they get it straight. One set of games, no, it's, that's for Game Pass. Oh, but these games should be enjoyed and loved by everybody. I don't like that inconsistency. And I think the more they say, the worse it gets sometimes. So, yeah, I guess we'll ultimately see what's going on with Call of Duty. Right now, take it as it's going to be on PlayStation, even though they're still saying that they're, they're open to offering something Sony is more comfortable with. I'm not sure what they're offering now, but maybe you do. Let us know.
He said a longer deal. That's what he said. He said a longer deal.
Exactly.
Exact words.
Why does there need to be a longer deal? What was the previous deal?
Because I think the previous deal's maybe like 3-4 years.
Why'd they make the previous deal?
Wow. The previous
because
deal
Activision
with
didn't have any incentive not to put it on PlayStation before that, where Microsoft now owning this and Game Pass, they see that possibly maybe these guys will screw us. So that's why they're being a little bit more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they made
Like
a deal
there's no
for 3
contract
years.
for. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying they made a deal for 3 years. Now they're open to making something that Sony are more comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't need a deal if they were going to leave it on PlayStation.
Don't worry. PlayStation will pay Microsoft to keep it exclusive for 6 months.
That's a joke, but it's actually
and
happened
keep it off
with
Game
2
Pass.
Bethesda games already.
Well,
keep it off Game Pass.
All I know is I do think that if the deal gets approved, that you will immediately see content from Activision and the next Call of Duty as well on Game Pass.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. It's going to be approved.
I think that's part of the overall plan, and I don't think Sony can say you can't do that. You know what I mean? Even
paid
if they
Microsoft.
have a contract. Well, I mean, it's just something like I don't know if you could void the. Let's say, because supposedly the deal ends with Sony in 2024. Now, is there an agreement there in the previous contract that Sony made with Activision that you can't have it on Game Pass? I don't know, but I just think that even if there was, I do think that it's going on PlayStation day one. I mean, Xbox Game Pass day one. That is. Phil talks about mobile and saying that you can't have without mobile, you're not going to be able to have Xbox. I think that's just an obvious statement because in the future, just everything is going to be your phone's just going to be a part of your ecosystem, in my opinion. But this deal, though, very much for the Call of Duty is directly correlated to Game Pass, and that's the big thing. So I do think in 2023, if it hits, that'll be the holiday, the big Xbox deal. And I think that that's definitely a big possibility, and that's there's gonna be once the deal gets approved, there's gonna be major movement.
How long until Sony do pay Microsoft to keep COD off Game Pass though? Seriously though, a big shout out to Boba Fett. He says, how much money for an exclusive side quest? That could be a possibility. Sony, they love doing that shit, and they did Money Hat, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Deathloop from Bethesda before we even got any of that stuff.
I mean, next year is Final Fantasy for 6 months.
Yep, and then Forspoken, which no one really cares about for 2 years. And then who knows what else they've got in the works, right? But again, Zalker, catch some of these chats real quick, man. And a big shout out to 900 plus watching us here, guys. Do appreciate you guys for stopping by and checking out the show. Hit the like button, tell everybody we're live. We do have more topics to come and plenty of people in the chat to talk to. Awesome people.
Yeah, we got Mr. Nichols for $5. Says Warzone will be on every console. Xbox will use them to make a new campaign series, not COD.
Oh shit!
I remember I said that. I was like, "What was it? Call of Gun."
Gun of Call.
Gun of Call.
Gun of Duty.
Gun of Duty. Yeah. There you go. We got Spinal 11 for $5. He says Modern Warfare made $800 million in 3 days. Of course, it will stay multi-plat. Stupid to still be a thing. It made over $1 billion already. By the way,
yeah, get your numbers right, man.
Danny Passion Official. How about a new franchise called Bomb of Duty? Oh man. Here we go. We got Jonas the Dad, member for 7th month. RDX keeping it real. Love you guys. I think PlayStation is going to demand all CODs stay off Game Pass forever.
Mhm.
I don't know about that. I mean, we'll see, but we got
You
Burke.
can't do that.
We got Burke for $10. Says Sony's COD advertising has always made many people believe the game is only on PlayStation. Xbox will be able to create the same illusion if the deal goes through. Huge perception.
That's if they market
change.
it.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I mean,
We
they,
know
they-
that
I mean,
Xbox has
I
had
think the whole
marketing
point.
issues.
The whole
Yeah.
point of getting these things is to help Xbox. If Xbox during the deal, Sony's like, you can't put your shit on Game Pass, they're gonna be like, well, then we're not signing this deal. Like that's that's what will happen, or they'll be like, fuck you, we got to make concessions, stuff like that. Like a lot of people are talking about all these concessions, like making all these changes and trying to tell Microsoft how to handle the shit that they're spending $68 billion on. It's just not right. Like it's not going to happen. Like Microsoft is not a dumb company. They're not going to like basically bend the knee to every fucking demand that Sony and all these other people have. Like they're just not going to do that. Because then it's not economically responsible or sound for them to do. They're not Elon Musk. They're not going to spend $44 billion on an $8 billion worth thing like Twitter. Like they're not stupid.
Yeah. Overpaid for sure.
you got Danny Passions, right? Bomb of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I got all of them.
I recall. But hey, again, I keep getting this fucking warning saying the show's running at a lower bit rate than it's supposed to. That's why I keep asking or asked if it was buffering.
No, it buffered a little bit earlier, but it went away quick.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Now it's fine. But yeah, we're gonna move to the next topic and get some of this stuff under us here because we've been on this one for a second. Cyberpunk, we mentioned this last week. The 2.1 FSR update it is on consoles now, and again, Digital Foundry. For those that have asked, we're basically saying it's an upgrade in pretty much nearly every way, with the exception of I think offense. Some rare examples. There was some flickering and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a big improvement, especially to even Series S with far less detail to even reconstruct the image from. It still does benefit quite a bit from it. Performance gains aren't as big as maybe I would have hoped, maybe 4 to 5 FPS, but that's on top of the improvements, and hopefully that will continue to iterate and get even better in the future. There is also an Xbox transparency. Did you see this, Alka, this transparency report they came out with, and they're talking about they banned 4.7 million accounts in 6 months, the last 6 months, actually.
Yeah, there's apparently a lot of people are basically going against, like, what is it? They're suspending them because of like basically they're doing a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be doing on Xbox Live.
Like like what?
Like hacking, like cheating. Like, so there's a lot of that going on. So they've banned like 4 million, and then not to mention there's been like a lot of abuse. Like they're saying a lot of shit in open chats, so they're getting those people. So yeah, it's kind of insane how much like 4.7 million is insane in the last 6 months. Like when hackers were at the height, and I'm talking about like the height of
How
PUBG,
much of that is hackers?
it was 1 million. Who knows? Because it was 1 million hackers on PUBG that they like. That was just 1 million. That was like the most I've ever seen.
Damn hackers.
And then this is like this is almost 5 million fucking people. Like even if it's like 1 million, that's still a lot.
I don't think it's 1 million, bro. I think it's like I don't
Like
know.
what are they banning them for farting on the mic? Like
Bro,
what's going
I've
on?
seen people get banned for calling like the dumbest shit. I mean, fuck. One time, Lethal couldn't use party chat for like a week or two because he said like fuck or something. I mean, it was stupid.
Lethal's probably like, you fucking bitches, and gets banned.
I don't know what it was. He probably replied to a fuck
it's probably a lot of that. It's probably a lot of that, the open chat stuff. But it is. I know it is a lot of like people hacking and cheating.
I need more
especially
information on
in
that,
a lot
sir.
of that. What do you mean more information? They're banning people. What
I
else
know,
do you need?
but they don't give us a percentage.
It's not very transparent, is it?
That is actually true. But
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, there's not. I mean, again, like, yeah, I don't think it's 1 million fucking hackers on console.
No, I'm saying it's that was the height of PUBG was 1 million.
Yeah, on
So
PC.
that, but I'm like, god damn, how are you banning 5 million on fucking like almost 5 million on console? Like, what the fuck are they doing?
It's not very transparent, is it? Yeah, I mean, it is weird to call it, transparency's in the name, and I just, I don't know. I would like more information on why exactly maybe that stuff's out there, but yeah, I don't think the majority of it, or even a notable part of it, is hackers at all. Don't call people fuckface in the chat in Call of Duty. Don't recommend it. But I also miss it though. You remember the days before party chat? when the game chats were actually live?
Bro, like so COD has
Yep,
like
in the
open chat
lobbies.
now. COD has open chat now. The reviews are freaking hilarious. Somebody's like, got called an F face. Call of Duty's back, baby. Like they're like, it's oh, dude, the reviews are hilarious. They're like, hell yeah, because the open chat, dude, it's bad. If you play like on open chat and that, like I play all the time, I fucking love it. So I love playing on the multiplayer, and I'm waiting for Warzone, but it is just so toxic and bad. Like it's so great. It feels like old school Call of Duty, and I think that's why
Oh.
it's so good.
Hey,
It's so bad.
Yo, Donnie has a good point. You remember when those damn those bots were on Xbox Live? They had zero gamer score. Maybe they're still
Oh my
around
God.
occasionally.
Yeah.
Those
yeah.
were a fucking epidemic. And every time they would message me and be like, "Hey, how are you?" I just put "I'm 6," and I would never hear back from them. Right? Those have disappeared. Right? That's a big one. So, Donnie, big shout out for that one. The bots were definitely an issue, and they've gotten a lot of those probably
I
taken
liked
care
them.
of.
They were my friends.
They always replied if you had iTunes gift card information.
They used to send me a lot of feet pics for some reason. I don't know.
Oh shit. Shout out to Papa Smurf as well. Yeah, brother. But yeah, bots were definitely an issue. I haven't dealt with those in quite a while. Anybody that's still playing Destiny 1, I'm sure they banned the fuck out of those people. And who else might be banned, chat? Let us know. But they're definitely out there. 4.7 million in the last 6 months have been proactively suspended. And that's a big
Oh my
word.
God. By the way, Sony on my Sony account, since I've been on God of War, I've gotten 2 messages from people going like, "Hey," like in the messages. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "You're here too?" Like, what the fuck? It's terrible.
They're
I hate those
following you,
bots.
Zocker.
They're everywhere, man. Like, "Hey, it's
Zonka is a
Janine."
toddler.
It's like, what?
This is about
find out,
delivering
man.
great exclusive games for you.
Oh, I did
that
not.
ship on
What the
platform.
heck? Why'd that play? Stupid thing.
But yeah, I just wanted to run through that topic and get that one out as well. I thought that was interesting. Witcher 3 is getting this next generation
Oh,
upgrade finally,
yeah.
November 15th.
Fuck.
Ah,
You know, we say finally
No.
and stuff.
I
but
think it's December 14th, not
December
November.
14th. Yeah.
December, it's next
where the
14th.
month.
fuck did I get that from?
Next week is next week they're doing a video.
It's
Oh,
December.
like they're-
maybe
they're
I
doing
wrote the wrong month.
But
Yeah.
you know,
I'm human.
I'm happy that CDPR is actually using a lot of the features and stuff of the consoles. Thankfully, you know, it's taking them time, but still,
I mean, it's on a
they're one of the few
7-year-old
that's
game.
using it. That one of the few developers that's actually utilizing this stuff, though. So I champion that, sir. So I'm excited for it. I want to see what they do with this game. Seeing it as how they made the FSR 2.1 make Cyberpunk 2077 a lot better, perform better.
That is cool.
I
Okay,
can't
I'm
wait to see it.
gonna be honest with you. They have to fucking do this. The freaking PR beating they took after Cyberpunk, where it got taken off PlayStation Store. Like, if they didn't do this, they're gonna fucking shoot themselves again. Their stock plummeted. They're doing this out of like, necessity at this point. Like, I think they want to. I think Witcher deserves it. Great game.
that
Cyberpunk
too,
got like
yeah.
a really good thing, but let's be fucking real. These guys were like basically the darlings of gaming. Everybody was like, they're so great, giving them flowers wherever they walked. And then all of a sudden,
getting it
Cyberpunk
again,
came
right?
out. And no, whenever Cyberpunk
they're
came out,
getting
they were
it now,
killing it.
though. Again,
Now it is because they've put so much money
Exactly.
the last 2 years into Cyberpunk
Smart.
to upgrade it,
So
and then now they're
smart.
putting it on 7-year-old games.
It's so smart. Think about it. It's going to reinvigorate
Bring
the
out a
series.
shit
People
game and then
can't wait.
update it.
It
People
needed
can't wait for
needed
the next
updates, yeah.
one. And
It
yeah,
needed
it
it.
did need updates for these new consoles, but it's going to be incredible. They didn't need to do that, but they're doing it. And that's
I'm
an
saying that
awesome
they
thing.
needed to
Hang
do
on,
it,
hang on.
and that's all. Like,
Uh,
toss a coin to your fanboy.
You both,
God damn it.
you both have a good. You both have a good point. Zalker's right in that the game launched a year too early, and Bonds is right. Is in that, and I think too he's carrying forward the perception or the fact that CD Projekt have always done this kind of thing. I think they would have done this shit regardless. It just sucks that it launched the way that it did, right?
Yeah.
So it is really cool. Fonz is right. 2.1 FSR, a ton of upgrades. Series S even got a 60 FPS mode, which again it didn't launch with, I don't believe. This is it's awesome. It's another game getting 60 FPS. It's had that for a minute. Let us know if you tried it, by the way. It apparently runs pretty damn good.
I'm looking forward to the Witcher one, man. I want to see because it's not just like the thing when I like if it was just console, it's like cool. I can't wait to see what they do with this. But it's also going to be a big patch on PC.
Man,
So it's
fuck
like a
your
rehaul of
PC.
the
Play it
whole
on
thing.
console.
No, I'm saying it's going to be an even bigger
Pleb.
thing on console because of it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like every time it does like all like across the board of where the game is, I'm looking forward to it. Like I want to see what The Witcher what they're doing, some new shit, and yeah, dude, I'm fucking stoked for it. Especially like, and I'm gonna play CD
On
or
your Steam Deck?
Cyberpunk. Oh, dude,
At
hell
35
yeah,
frames?
at 60.
I'm just
Variable
kidding.
refresh rate, baby. Hey, shout out to Mav in the chat. He says he wants more updates for some older games as well. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. Making the games you already own even better and for free, at least hopefully. But yeah, Witcher 3 is going to be one of those apparently in December. I don't know why I have November. Maybe I just wrote the wrong month. Oh, probably because I was doing this topic, Game Pass stuff, right? So there's a lot of games coming to the platform this month.
Mm-hmm.
Out right now is Pentiment and Somerville. So Game Pass, you got some pretty good games coming this month. We got to start with Pentiment. It's not my cup of tea. By the way, turn on the damn screen reader. It's nothing but reading. But it does have its own
screen
charm.
reader was horrible, bro.
Change the voice if you want to masturbate,
clip.
Fonz. I'm just saying, like, all you got to do,
Jeez.
if you want to play it, play it. It's apparently pretty damn good. Like, maybe I got like an hour into it. I'm not going to beat that game. I'm not going to play much more of it, if any. It's not my cup of tea, but it does have its own charm. What is the Metascore? It's getting a shit ton of praise.
Oh,
10 out of 10.
To the
Change
69.
the voice if you want to masturbate. Stupid fuck.
Tim Dog is like dead now. Tim.
I know. Tim's like, I give you
Tim
an
was
hour
out
and
there
a half.
celebrating in the streets like, they won a championship or something when Pentiment came out.
It's at an 86.
Das Haveth Xbox game.
Doth have
No, I
it.
mean,
Just-
listen,
Tim,
it's
reviewing
it's
well.
no
15th century.
Yeah, it's nice. It's no consolation prize. I guess it's a consolation prize for no AAAs, but Josh,
No AAAs.
Josh Sawyer.
Sawyer,
They say doesn't miss, and that's pretty much proven itself. He's going to be onto a bigger game now. It was a passion project. I know that we kind of make fun of passion projects.
I'm just done with passion projects. Bleeding Edge, passion project.
Well, no,
You love
Tim,
Bleeding Edge. What are you
let's
talking
be fair. Let's be fair though. If you're into 15th century comedy and hijinks, yeah, that's your game. Pentiment.
Exactly. So, pretty
15th
much.
Century.
But no, I get your point. No, I do think that it was a very niche. He just wanted to do this for a long time, and he got it out of his system. The game is 86 Metacritic. It's done very well. Could definitely try it out. It's on Game Pass. But
man.
he's gonna be doing another game, and I'm looking forward to what he's doing next. Because
the one thing I heard about the game is that first hour you're kind of like, what the hell am I doing here? And then the story really picks up. There's like a murder, and it's like you have to solve it. It's like some great
It's like Clue.
It's like you and yeah, it's
15th
like
century
people
Clue.
started to
it's
really
like
enjoy
Blue's
it.
Clues.
Oh my,
Oh my god! Blues Clues.
fucking Blues Clues.
Try it out, man.
What is that? What is he even saying?
Try it out, man.
Try it out, man.
Try out.
Don't make me.
Try out Pentiment.
Oh my god.
I've actually started Somerville, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm in.
How you like that?
It's okay. I don't know. It's not as good. It's the guys that made Inside and Limbo, and Inside and Limbo are like fucking amazing. And it just doesn't. It hasn't grabbed me like those games did yet. So I don't know. I gotta put a
A
little.
lot
more time
hasn't
into
been
it.
grabbing you lately. You've been saying that about Ragnarok, this game.
Yeah.
Vampire Survivors, though. That one grabbed me.
Vampire
Mr.
Survivors
Potato Head, the game.
it's Brotato, bitch. Get it
Brotato,
right.
yeah,
He's like, I don't like
Brotato.
any games with sound or nothing, no stories.
First of all, I played Gotham Knights just now, the one that you were talking.
did like
shit
that
for
one.
the fucking 17 months, Fonz,
You
and
did.
then you played it and loved it for 35 hours.
Touche.
You inconsistent fuck.
So you are not feeling Somerville. Somerville to me.
I'm only an hour in. I need to get into it. I need to get into it a little bit more.
First off, Tim, did you beat Pentiment?
No, I've been playing Persona pretty much.
Why?
lately.
I can't believe you're
Yeah,
stuck on that damn game.
No, I said I'd finish it, so I'm gonna finish.
It's a
it.
bet,
The game's
ain't it?
It's 100 hours. It's 120 hours, but I like it. I definitely am enjoying it. It's it's a silly game, but it's a JRPG. I like the format. It's the same thing like a Dragon.
You're in high school. It's awesome.
Yeah,
There's a
fighting
lot,
penis
but
demons.
there's a lot of games.
adult themes.
There's a lot of games coming out this month, like Insurgency. We got the Dune Spice Wars, which Gaz is gonna jizz all over. We got Ghost Leo. I don't know what the hell it is. We got Lapin. We got Norco. Gungrave Kilgore actually looks freaking awesome, and that's coming on the 22nd. That just looks like a
Yeah.
fun shoot 'em up
Good
game.
month.
Yeah, and then we got Soccer Story, and then Warhammer Darktide on the 30th.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't done talking about Somerville. I mean, shit, that game.
I'm just putting them all out there.
Listen,
man.
listen. You guys got to start it up because it. I mean, the baby is creepy as fuck. But I mean,
Dude.
the way that game starts,
Fall
you
of
know
Trash
that
Man.
it's a playdate game right from there. Which again, they're one of my favorite studios with the work they do. Not necessarily Limbo, but Inside, and then the way I'll never forget that game and the way it ended and what the fuck. And then now this game starts pretty crazy. Like you don't really expect it necessarily. So try it out if you haven't tried Somerville. Obviously, there, like you said, is Insurgency coming later this month. That's a more realistic tactical shooter. But if you're on Call of Duty, you ain't fucking with that. And then you've got crap. I got the list right here. You just said them, Zalker. You've got Norco. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, Dune Spice, Norco,
Norco.
Lapin, a Ghost
doing
Leo, Gungrave Kilgore, like Gungrave Gore, whatever. That game is, like I said, man, it looks fun.
Gungrave
And then
Gore
Soccer
looks-
Story.
Yeah, it looks decent.
Soccer
Yeah, and then we
Story.
got Warhammer Darktide on the 30th,
On
which
PC
I
is
am fucking
trash.
I'm so fucking stoked for that. I
PC
can't wait.
trash.
Yeah. Now, do you remember when that game was supposed to come to Xbox and we were going to have that this month? And
They
And
did not
unfortunately-
say.
unfortunately, it did get delayed, the Xbox version, but it'll be out next year. And I'm looking forward to playing that game. I'm sure it's going to be great. But
Did they say
yeah.
next year? I don't think they said. They said shortly or after the PC.
They just said shortly
I didn't think they
Oh,
said
I just
next
assume
year. They
it'll
didn't say.
be like next year.
I would
I
assume.
assume
I would.
it's
I'm hoping
January,
like
February.
December. I'm hoping December, but we'll see.
Are you hoping?
I think they
December?
would have mentioned that if it's in December for the holidays too. I think they would have
Yeah.
already been pumping.
I
that
can
out.
if they're delaying it, I can already tell 720p 30. It's coming. Seriously. Like at that point, like fuck. Like why are we delaying just that?
Well, the same reason they delayed they didn't come out with the Xbox version for the last one until after PC.
Yeah,
it's
they're
their primary
PC
version.
focused. Yeah,
Um,
they're PC focused.
Don't start fear mongering that shit, bitch. So yeah, Insurgency, the 29th, Dune, Spice Wars, Gaz will love that one. Ghost Leo, whatever that is. And then we
Yeah.
got Lapin, Norco, Gungrave, Soccer Story. Ashtray will love that. And then Warhammer for Dark Tide on PC, which means no one here gives a fuck except for Zalker and D.
Soccer Story.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But you know they just did release their Call of Duty Warzone launch trailer, and it's pretty cool. I
didn't watch it.
pretty sure that was the launch trailer. Anyway, Warzone is coming out soon. So let us know if you're playing Warzone.
Tonight.
Yeah, that's probably a good note. I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
tonight.
I can't wait to fucking play it.
What time?
9
I'm
p.m.
guessing 9 p.m.
West
East
Coast.
Coast Pacific.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Western, probably like
Okay. Yep.
midnight on East Coast. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know the times exactly,
It's
but I already
around
have it downloaded.
Well, let
Just-
us know
just
if you're
wait.
playing it. It's supposed to be like 184,000 gigs. Not sure why.
It's like
Just-
200 gigs.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
that's
sit
crazy.
at your console now and wait for it. Just wait for it. gonna be fun. It's
And
gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome, guys.
let's see here. We've also
fun.
got Spawn. Shut up.
I know. He's just like saying all these random
It's like
things in
sitting
the
there narrating,
background.
practicing voiceover
Yeah.
lines.
Like, great. It's awesome.
And then we've got
gonna be awesome.
There's another listed thing for Xbox doing experimental stuff with their homepage. This is actually pretty cool. So they're going to be doing like dashboard home screen testing by letting you guys, you and me, insiders in the Xbox program, mess around and suggest things. And it's going to be a quicker way to evolve the dashboard and make it look better and hopefully run even better. Runs mostly okay now. But I thought this was kind of cool. There is a pretty sizable quote in here, Fonz, if you wanna read that while I cue some of these up.
A pretty sizable quote.
Yeah, it's
Where at?
You love reading so much. I just figured it's the latest Xbox homepage topic. It's right down there towards the bottom.
I got it.
I
These
wanted to give
editions-
Fonz some reading work here.
I know he was talking so much. You think he'd, you know?
He's still setting up the
Are you
clip.
talking about Phil Spencer?
No.
No, the latest. I got it. These editions are the latest in what Microsoft previously described as a multi-month series of experiments to learn how
Oh,
to
that.
create a more personalized home screen experience and address some of the top trends and fan requests, aka TikTok, is going to be on your Xbox.
Oh God. Please no.
Please God, no.
I'm always a little alarmed when Lethal sends me things from TikTok. I think his granddaughter stole his phone or something. But no, it's Lethal.
Hey,
He's on
hey
TikTok.
Tim. Hey Tim, do you have a TikTok, Tim?
I do.
I know you do.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, that's a cool way. So this means that for the first time in years, you're going to get an actual notable change in the dashboard, or at least they're looking to really upgrade some things there, change some things up. And it's hard to do. You know, it's hard to satisfy everybody because some people want their picture of a dog in the background as their home screen to be fully visible, and other people, you know, would like
Don't
functionality.
care. Most people don't care. There's people that really care about this and berate the developers of Xbox, saying, "What is this?" and they show mock-ups of what they would do. But I'll give the team this.
Show mock-ups.
You know, it's true. I'll give the team this. They're definitely taking back feedback, and they're trying to come to a certain place. I mean, I'm an alpha, and I've had like 2 changes. That the last change that the last update, they kind of like spread it out. I do like it the way it is right now, but they are refining it, and I know a lot of big complaint is you can't see the back. You know, everything covers your back page or whatever you want to call that. But yeah, some people take this very seriously. I just think that the majority of people don't even pay attention to this. They just look for their game plus press A and
true.
go. But for the people that are really into it, and Xbox seems to really be taking feedback, I will give credit to there. But concerning for me, it's not. I like it the way it is right now, and they can keep
You know,
it up.
Boba Fett Gaming in the chat wants to know, Tim, if you can put anime girls up on the screen on your wallpaper.
On Xbox, no.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, Bobo
you
used to
can't do
draw
that,
those on
Boba.
the sides of cars in Forza
Sorry, bud.
until he got banned.
Is it the same people that love hot tubs in their video games fonts? Just asking.
No,
The man
is a
with the
toddler.
million.
that's a different kind of creepy guy.
What about the cloud, guys? Like, what about the stream? And Phil's just like, natively, it's gonna be on natively. That guy in the thing, I just can't get it out of my head when you played that. Just the way that weasel question and the way he got yelled at.
The funny thing about this is that Xbox has gone through so many iterations of their homepage. Like,
Mhm.
how many has the PlayStation 5 gone through?
Good point.
Like,
Yeah.
like 0, and they just like
0.
nobody says anything, and Xbox is like, we're gonna make it fucking better. It's like all you need to do is just like fuck all the bullshit. Stop trying to
Yeah.
trace trends. Just make it sleek. Like that's it. Make it quick, responsive, and that's all. People won't give
I
a
want
fuck.
it as
People
minimal
want it
as
simple.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yes,
love the
keep it
PlayStation
simple,
4 UI. I loved it.
Right.
I
Or
thought it was
people say,
easy
I
and-
love the blades. You know, have you ever
And I
heard
like the
that?
blades back in the day for Xbox. Yeah. It's simple.
The blades?
Yeah. I liked
Yeah,
it.
the way it
The
was set up.
360 blades.
Oh, the first blades or anyway,
Yeah,
there was
the
a
first
couple
one,
versions of
yeah.
it, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of functional now, but it could be better. They could lay some things out differently, but that's the point of this whole thing, right? Is to help us find that solution, I think, and hopefully they get to that. Bonds here, I want you to get the last one here. All right, right at the bottom, and then you know this is Phil. You know, again confirming that they're working on Keystone and what's going on with that and why it hasn't come out yet.
He said in an interview with the Decoder podcast, which we played a bit of earlier, he said Microsoft Gaming, he revealed that, well, it's not really a quote, though. It's,
Hey, look, it's copy
Yeah.
and paste right from the article. Just,
what? I
He-
don't see that.
no, it's copy and pasted right from the
I
article.
just see spent. You're talking. Yeah, it reads like you just okay. So in an interview on the Decoder podcast, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer revealed that the current version of the Xbox Keystone didn't go into full production because of pricing issues. Spencer added that the team is still watching for when that kind of device can happen at the right cost.
So
So that's basically what he and I watched part of that as well, or listened to it. and he was talking about how he wanted to add a controller to the device as well, and it would just get too pricey at that point. And he was comparing it to like the Series S at holiday time. There might be a price reduction on that. And then, if you're getting the price up into 150 plus or whatever for this Keystone with a controller, I mean, you might as well at that point look over at the Series S. It wouldn't make much sense right now to bring out this device, he's saying, because of that cost.
Nibble for president. Don't forget to cast your vote. Yeah, that was a great topic. So, I mean, again, Phil confirming there though that they were actually working on this thing. No hiding it on the shelf no more. No, none of that stuff. And I think that's at least one step to get it down to $100. I mean, that's the price that I think we all here on the panel agree. It needs to be around that. It needs to compete with Apple TV.
With a controller, yeah.
With a controller,
Yeah.
even when, that would be harder, definitely. But they want to make that a reality, right? So I think it cost them $17. At least, it probably costs them more now. But several years ago, it cost them $17 to make a controller, and I don't know what that would eat into. How much they're looking to try to get back from that, but that would be a hell of a bargain right there. $100 for all of that content, plus all your streaming apps, and the controller that they want you to play it on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that we had this conversation. Remember, Brad Sams was talking about the prototypes or the things that were being developed, and Keystone was one of them. And it was called the Cloud Console, and I remember us talking about it here, and we're like, if that thing is $199, it's dead. And Xbox, basically, that's the price point they were coming around. So they were smart enough not to do it. I think they want to get it down to, I think Phil said 129 or 99.
It was 99. He said basically if
Yeah.
it's not like $100, then it's like not
Yeah.
worth
Right.
doing.
I agree
and,
with that.
And I
Right.
totally agree with that, as long as they know what it is. And
Maybe
like we
129
said,
with a
like
controller.
well,
you know.
hardware right now is extremely expensive, right? Like everything's
Yeah.
going up. We saw PlayStation's Phil's talked about putting stuff higher after the holiday season. We'll see what happens with the Keystone. Maybe it is
It's
this year.
common,
Maybe
10
maybe
years.
it's maybe it's next year. Maybe it's the year
Yeah.
after. But we're gonna see some stuff with this. So it's too easy to see that it's going to happen, right? Like they already have like a bunch of the cloud stuff. Like it's just if they make an experience solely around the cloud and you just plug it at the back of your TV, like that's the ideal thing, right? Like that they want. So it's just going to be a matter of time when that happens. And for him to even talk about Keystone, right? To even talk about it shows that it's closer than people think.
Yeah.
But
And there's
I-
another
yeah.
there's another aspect to this too. If you really think about it, during the holiday season, like right now, a lot of people still don't have a Series X or a Series S,
Mhm.
and that's going to be the folks going out there this holidays buying their grandkids, their kids, this thing. And if there's a new Xbox device thrown into the mix all of a sudden, it's just there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff being thrown out at once, and people are going to be like, well, what's this do? What's that do?
Exactly.
And it's just not a good time. It's really the
Yeah.
timing
And-
and the price. It
And
makes a lot of
it
sense.
also
100%.
would need to change what cloud is doing, right? Because if you buy that thing, that means you can play your entire library on it. Which right now
Well-
in cloud you can't unless you stream directly from your console.
I know that it was part of Take Home. So basically, Take Home is part of it's something at Microsoft where employees get to take home, products that might or might not be involved in, going out. Or they'll take home Xbox Series X before it comes out. So I know it was actually, it's actually been in. They have it and everything. And from what I heard, and I actually read it too, but I also heard this, that it actually works really good, because I do think they have some embedded technology there that works with the cloud. But again, if it's $199, it doesn't make sense. Probably later in the gen cycle, and a $99 price point is very smart. I think that, we talk about Xbox setting everything up. This is just part of that setup. And I have to say, they're going about this methodically and smart. I think next year you'll see LG, have it built into their TVs, and it's just going to keep going on. And they want that 3 billion device screen, so this is going to be a part of Xbox soon.
Well, you know what? I think that again, it's cool transparency there with everything but the transparency report, and it's we know it's coming. It's got to be around $100. Feels right. Well, let us know what you think about it. That's our last topic. I want to thank almost 1,000 people that showed up tonight. We do appreciate you guys. Seriously.
Awesome.
If there was any buffering or anything like that, let me know in the comments because I saw a few
Send
people
him
say
an
that.
email at Dealer Gaming. No, I'm just kidding.
Then send Fonz a banana so he can focus on eating that for a second. And obviously, let us know your thoughts on the show. Hit the like button. And it's a great discussion. Panel members are awesome. And especially on the Keeley Awards. That was just great. But yeah, Fonz, what have you been playing? Are you going to play Somerville? And where can people find you?
I'm not playing anything right now until I beat God of War Ragnarok because, again, even though I'm playing through this game and it's very fun, the story is good. I still take issue with it having so many dang puzzles and just a lot of walking and just not enough combat for me so far. I need more combat in this game, and it's not to say it's boring at all because it's not. I'm having a good time with it, but when you're playing a God of War game, you want to feel that awesome combat, and it's just it's very few and far between. It's you get like 3 minutes of combat sometimes, and then you'll just be like in a cut scene or doing a puzzle for 10-15 minutes, and you're like, okay, I want the combat. So I'm about 12 hours into the game too, so I'm about halfway through it, and I'm having a good time with it. And I want to finish this before I go on to anything else because I want to know if Elden Ring is truly my game of the year. And so far, I'm leaning heavily that it is my game of the year. But God of War, there's a lot of great aspects to it. The voice acting and the story and everything is incredible. If you're really paying attention to it, it's really good stuff. So I'm into that. So yeah, playing that. And they can find me at Fonz Gaming.
Find him at Fonz Gaming. Sebastian.
Right here on YouTube.
Right here
and
on
Twitters.
YouTube. And Twitter. Sebastian says, let me tell you, Series S is gonna sell like hotcakes. Do you know how the Series S isn't just for poor people, quote unquote. Okay? It's
Jesus.
it's a fucked up thing to say, but it's not for just for poor people, quote unquote. It's for anybody who wants to.
Xbox.
Yeah, it's like a dip your toe in the water type thing, man. Plus, we all been down in the dirt at one stage or another in our life. You gotta get what you can where you can, and anybody picking that up, it's a hell of a fucking bargain. Pick it up Black Friday, it's gonna be what, $200? It's gonna be a juggernaut. It's gonna be nuts.
It's a good deal. Try to get something comparable on PC for that price. You can't do it. And just like we have the 3050s and the 6600 XTs that exist, it's for everyone within their price range. You get what you can get. As long as you can game, I think you're winning. And I think that is a good entry point into the ecosystem. And when your situation gets better, or maybe you got a birthday or Christmas coming up, you get the big brother. So I think it's a good deal. I think it gets a bad rap because on PC we don't sit there and complain a lot about the lower cards, because get what you get. I want something more, I'll get a Series X if I can't afford that, or the Series S is enough for me, then that's fine, and nobody should be pointed at or made fun of for that. So
no, it's a very
and
capable
Sebastian's saying
console.
he didn't mean it that way. Okay, good. I mean, I didn't know, man. It's text. So
I was about to say, like, what the fuck? What happened? Why are we talking about people not affording it?
Do appreciate you, man. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you just never know. It's text.
Zocker agrees with that, though. Zocker hates the Series S.
Yeah, he does. He
Says
does.
it's holding back
It's for
everything.
poor people.
Yep.
That's fucking stupid.
I'm
Zocker, what have you
fucking
been
joking.
playing and where can people
I'm
find you?
joking. Relax. You guys find me on Twitter's Alcrady7, YouTube's Alcrady7. I've been playing God of War just like pretty much everyone else. I'm about 8 hours in. Really enjoying it. Again, one of my favorite franchises. It runs really good, and God, it's just such a good game. And you forget how good 2018 is, and then you jump in Ragnarok, and you're like, man, this feels really good. And then I've been
You're
playing.
like, man, I'm back in 2018 again.
It's better though. It has a lot of stuff, and yeah, it does feel it feels like the best PS4 game ever made. Like, and that's what they were going for. It's literally what the developer
Best
said.
looking too.
And then I've been playing Somerville and Vampire Survivors and Rotate, all that, and then obviously looking forward to Call of Duty. Man, I've been playing the multiplayer a shit ton, and I can't wait for Warzone. I'm gonna be jumping into that. I'm just excited. So yeah, just a lot of games, man. Everything is just like a really good time, and I can't wait for next week also because we have like Evil West come out and Killgrave Gun Gore, whatever the fuck, and a bunch of games, man. So there's just it's a good time to be a gamer. So yeah, that's it. And thanks, chat. You guys are awesome.
It's a good time to be on the
That's
RDX
hilarious.
panel. Yeah.
Page 23, Brooklyn, New York. By the way, 20 Super Chase has God of War Ragnarok impressions from the panel. I haven't played it because I'm a real Xbot.
You're such a fucking.
Hey, Fonz, your impressions of God of War Ragnarok.
just
It's
gave 'em
really
for, like,
good.
20 minutes.
I gave a bunch of impressions.
I mean, but they
on
weren't
my
negative
outro, but-
enough. I'm trying to get what's going on.
No. I other than the
That 40
puzzles
FPS,
and the
buddy.
walking around, it's just No, I did try
feel- I
that
feel
40
really
FPS.
annoyed.
Hang
mode.
on, let Fonz finish his shit.
I did try that that 40 FPS mode, and I think it's trash. I don't see a need for a 40 FPS mode in any game going forward. If a developer wants to, make their game 30 frames and they can't hit 60, just leave it at that, because the 40 frames really does nothing for me. I have my TV 120 hertz, I'm using it right, VRR on, and it feels and looks
Well, PS5's
no
VRR
better than the 30
is not as
FPS
good,
really.
though.
But
Yeah, it's not as
but look at playing a game, at 60 frames, that's a huge jump. That you can actually tell that's more than 10 frames up. You're getting double the frames from 30, and I
So-
can really feel and see the difference.
I
And-
will say,
and
I
so-
just want to say though, regarding that, PS5's VRR doesn't have the same range as Series X's VRR. You're probably
Yeah,
not
it's low.
seeing like you would on maybe if the same, they should bring God of War over to Xbox. That'd be nice, but if that were on Xbox, it probably would see the difference a little more.
Yeah, I
40
I noticed
FPS
that.
is just not. It's not the way, man.
Here we
it's
go.
60 or nothing.
I'm just saying.
I noticed. I noticed here. This is what you guys all came for. I know 40 FPS is probably not optimal for most gamers, and I'll say this: what dealer's saying with the VRR on the PlayStation, the lower range, it's not as low as the Series X, and I noticed while playing with VRR, it's not as smooth. It is smoother, but it's not as smooth as it should be. But I'll say this: if you have a car that goes 30 miles per hour, it's pretty crappy. But if you have a car that goes 40 miles per hour, it's a little better than that crappier car. And that's my point. And the 40 FPS, when it's done right with VRR, it does feel considerably smoother than 30 FPS.
Omit the word considerably, because it's not considerably smoother than 30. It is not. You can't. Don't try to force feed that trash to everybody,
But
because
it's
it's not going to work.
It's not a big.
It's just but it's just the
no, but
numbers.
it's not.
It's just the
Looking
numbers.
at it
It
with my
depends.
own
Numbers,
eyeballs and feeling
the
it,
numbers-
it's not the same.
Hang
The
on,
numbers
It's not
don't lie. The latency is less. You have it's going to be
yes,
it's
it's
going to
true.
be
It's
a
a
better
little
perceived
bit-
motion. It's going to be
Okay,
a better
D, can I
perceived
ask you
motion
something,
because
though?
you got more frames, so it's just is smoother. But
Okay, so
yes,
let me
I
ask
hear
you a
what you're
question.
saying.
though,
Let me
D.
just one at a time. One at a time. So D says it is smoother, and again, I got to remind everybody: some people can't see the difference between 30 and 60. So this whole thing's opinion anyway.
A placebo.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no. What I was going to ask D though, for real though, is when you're playing a 60 frames game or Ragnarok, case in point, play it at the high frame rate mode, and then go down to that 40 mode, and tell me it doesn't feel like ass.
Yeah, it does feel like ass in comparison.
Thank you.
For sure.
That's all I wanted. So
No,
there's no point. It's 60 frames or nothing. That's the point. It does not feel good, man. It feels like
But
ass.
you know
I
what?
just wanted you to
what's
say
good
that.
though?
Hey,
Feels
But you know
like
what's
ass,
good
people.
though is that they give the option though. I'm
Feels
happy
like
at least they give
ass.
the option, because there's some people that, like, I'll be honest with you, between the modes, apart from the frame rate, it's hard to notice the difference. I think that the performance mode.
But you just said when
looks-
you're going from
Just-
60
just
to
let
40,
him-
it feels like ass.
just
no,
let
I'm
him finish.
talking graphically. I'm like graphically, the 60 frames mode looks pretty much on par with the 40 FPS mode. Like there's like better shadows, like little things. Like if you sit there and really look, and like levels of details, you'll see little things if you're really looking for it. But otherwise, you're not going to see it. So that's why I choose to play it at 60 FPS.
Mhm.
But like some people like the option, they like that placebo. They say, hey, this is the highest mode. I want to play it in the highest mode. And that 40 FPS it's better than them playing it at 30 FPS. That's all I'm
if
saying.
they have
But I
VRR.
prefer to play it at 60. But what I'm saying is that if you have a choice, like you don't have a choice, 40 is better than 30. every day,
and a lot
any day
less
of the week.
people, a lot less people out there that are gamers have a choice to get into that 40 frames mode because they don't have a 120 hertz TV to
Well,
begin with.
what
So
about
that's another problem.
So it's all options
Yeah,
though. As long as the
that's the
developer sets
biggest
up the right
problem.
like default out of the box mode, which I bet you isn't that BRR mode, then it's fine. But you know, Fonz, you say it all the time. Options are good, right? So if you don't like that, then don't use it.
Yeah. But here's the thing: it's like it's kind of just like a slap in the face if a developer says our game can't do 60, but guess what? We've got a 40 frames mode for you. It's like, fuck you.
But
You know,
doesn't it also have a 60 mode?
it doesn't
though, right?
do anything. No. If it didn't have a 60 mode, that's
But it
what
does.
I'm saying. That's no. I'm not just using Ragnarok as an excuse. I'm talking about 40 frames in general. Yeah. Okay. Take a game like Plague's Tale. It's the same exact thing. 40 frames at 120 hertz TV. It only works on 120 hertz TV. Or you play it in 30 frames mode. You might as well be playing. Yes, you play in 40 frames because it's a little tiny bit better, right? But it's still ass at the end of the day.
Yeah.
60
But
frames
still better
are
than
nothing.
30.
It's
Still better than the 30.
but it's
Like
hardly.
4K.
But it's just an option.
It's
like-
negligible. You can hardly tell the difference.
but it's
put it
still
back.
better.
It's
I've-
man.
Look.
it's
If
ass.
you got BRR on the right display, right device, I've noticed
Wrong
45 is better on Arkham Asylum. But again, like this is all opinion. Who cares? Like I guess it's for people that have the display and they want to take advantage of it. Then they can. But there's some
Yeah,
people that might disagree, Fonz. There's people that have told me 60 FPS is worse than 30.
Okay,
And to
so
them-
let me
to
ask
them-
you this:
to them,
dealer.
they're like,
That's
no,
why
they
you
shouldn't.
Why you gotta bring Todd Howard?
No,
into
I'm
this?
just saying. I'm just saying.
That's true. Why
I'm
you
just
gotta
saying,
bring
when I talk about
Todd?
Todd Howard, I'm saying that if he was correct, then we wouldn't have 60 FPS modes because of his opinion. It's all opinion. It's not a big deal.
But I'm just saying, like, if you were gonna play games from here on out, and they told you we can't do 60 frames anymore, but we're gonna do 40 for you, how would you feel? It's trash.
Well, yeah,
It's
obviously.
Yeah.
What's it got to
Well,
do
that's
with
if
this?
you're that's if you're forced to do just 40. Like I get what you're saying, Fawn. You're worried that they're gonna, use 40 as like kind of a little.
as a scapegoat,
as
as
a
like here's our
scapegoat, like,
performance
Where are you
mode.
getting that
Yes.
from, though?
I don't know where he's
Plague's
getting it
Tale
from.
did it.
No,
They call it a performance mode.
They look. That's like running
They
out.
call
and-
it a performance
That's like
mode.
getting hit by a zebra out in the Sahara and thinking they walk outside and get run over by a zebra. Like it just doesn't. It's not going to happen. There's not much cause for it. But I do get what you're saying. Like, yeah, we want to give the fact. We want to let these developers know 60 FPS or don't even, I guess, bother in some cases. But yeah,
I just, a lot of people are just championing the 40 frames lately. It's just kind of annoying because it's not really that big of a
Who the
jump
fuck
at all
is
from 30.
championing? Who's championing 40?
Oh, come on. You haven't seen people talking about it, especially on the Steam Deck?
40 is amazing.
The Steam Deck is completely different. Like it's just like because you can control what frames you could go from 50 to 40 to 6. You can do whatever. Like that's why people are talking about it. Like, but it's not something.
But
that should
all
be,
of a
like,
sudden,
the
40 is
standard.
good. Yeah, I know. All of a sudden.
Well, you're right. PC gamers did shit on 30 FPS and 40 FPS and everything in between.
Anything below 60.
But
and
what
then-
I'll
Yeah,
say is
well,
that screen on the
PC
Steam Deck is FreeSync FreeSync, right? So they are getting a smoother experience on that screen.
Yeah.
But
You
hey,
can lock it at 40 hertz. But I'll say this: PC guys, they are kind of snobbish, where it is 60 frames or don't give me anything. So it's kind of a different standard just because of the hardware availability. And I hear what Fonz is saying. Like, I don't want 40 FPS to be the norm because 40 FPS compared to 50 FPS, I mean 60 FPS, it's not a good thing. You want
Well,
the
then fuck you,
baseline to
you're
be
getting
60
30, bitch.
FPS. But I'm not mad if they have an option in that game that also has 60 FPS.
Oh,
And I ain't
yeah. I'm not mad
40
at that either.
FPS.
No, I don't. Yeah. I'm fine with that.
but PS5 has that 15 FPS mode. Why are we not talking about that?
That's the Matrix demo.
Yeah, that's the Matrix demo. Splendiferous, where you been, man? I haven't seen you playing
Oh, he was in the
online.
chat.
Well,
That's-
you know what's gonna happen in like a year? All games on thing are gonna be like mainly 45 frames, and Fonz
my
is just gonna
God.
fucking lose his shit, and we're gonna sit here and laugh.
Uh,
It's gonna be great.
If that were true and they
Fonz's gonna
decided,
go to
hey, guess
PC.
what? We can't do 60 anymore, guys. I'd be like, bring on the freaking, you know what? I'll just go to
Yeah.
PC at that point.
You just
Fuck
go to
it.
Steam Deck.
Yeah, go to
I'll
Steam
go
Deck.
to, I'll go to Steam Deck.
You already go to one of those. Hey, I want to go.
Tim, go to Persona.
Oh my God, Tim's life is Persona. Tim Dog, what have you been playing and where can people find you, bud?
Yeah, like I said, Persona 5, 30 hours in. I want to try Pentiment and Somerville though, and maybe some other games. Maybe I tried God of War too. I gotta hook this thing up. But see you next week. Good show tonight.
Who is this? Who's Leon the Professional?
What the fuck? The movie, The Professional.
I actually have that movie. It's Jean Reno, the French actor. But yes, I mean, I'm talking about in the chat. Surely this isn't Jean Reno in the chat.
It's him. He
It's
hits
Booker.
Xbox.
Why'd you let Natalie Portman? Well, she didn't die, did she? She made it through.
Yeah, she made it through.
Good job on that movie. But
Great flick, man.
you're kind of
That
acting
movie
weird
was
in the chat
awesome.
there, buddy.
You know, I want an autograph.
He'll autograph it for you.
Yeah.
Get a little small pen, and he'll do
And
that.
he'll autograph it in 40 frames for you, bitch.
Oh,
Without
okay.
VRR.
Leon, he says, God of War fucking Ragnarok motherfuckers. All right. Calm down. Go outside and kiss a
Motherfuckers.
girl or something. One that you know and that also wants a kiss. But hey, follow me
Now,
on...
Kith.
Now, Keith. Follow me on... Let me know if I missed a super chat, by the way. Follow me on Twitter at dealer_gaming, Xbox Live at II space dealer space II, and obviously here on YouTube. Let me see if I missed one. Do you have any? Do you have any from Hargy? Well, I'm trying to multitask before I come to you, D. But I did forget about that, and I just lied there. So go ahead, D. What are you playing, and what can people? Where can they find you?
God of War Ragnarok. Really enjoying the game. I understand what people are saying that it's similar to the first one. It is and it isn't. I think it's an all around upgrade. I think in all areas. Really enjoying the game. Definitely the game of the year for me right now. You guys can find me on Twitter at D_batch or D. And you can also find me on YouTube at DBatch. I should have some new content going up this week. Was a great show. And 40 FPS for life.
Debatumus Prime.
Roll out. Now Jean Reno is very upset. He's very upset with the world right now. Zachary, you want to grab the last chat? There might be one or two. But thank you guys for stopping by.
Thank you.
What do we have? Fawns, try Plague's Tale Requiem at 40 FPS and you will notice it. This guy says, I played a Plague's Tale 2 at 40 FPS on my Xbox Series X. Felt great. Fawn, do you try it after playing it at 30 FPS and tell me what you think?
With
Play a
VR.
60 frames. Yeah, play a 60 frames game and then go to that and tell me what you think.
Everyone agrees that's
That's
better.
not what we're talking
Exactly.
about, though. That's not what we're talking
That's
about.
what I am talking about, though, is the fact
But you're
that
saying
if
that
you
10
can't get it to
frames,
60,
you're
forget
saying
it,
10
dude.
frames are negligible.
Forget
So, like, would
it.
you
Yeah.
play a game at
Yeah.
20 frames? You know what I mean? Do you not feel it when you go to 30? Like, that's the same
Now that's
logic.
being ridiculous, okay?
No.
Grumble 30. Now that's
10
being
frames.
ridiculous,
That's just
okay?
10 frames.
Shout out
No,
to
it's-
Toolman. Shout out to
no, it's
Umbra.
not
Shout
the
out to
same.
Bud the Cyborg. Shout out to Papa First. Shout out to Boba Fett, Ashtray, Anthony, all the mods, Boss My Lethal Papa, and of course Robin T. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for watching. We're out.
Later, everybody.
Hee hee.